Just waiting for.
We're-
Wait, is Summer around?
Oh,
Some is
I
deaf
believe
muted
so.
but present.
Oh no, he's here, but he's definitely muted. I
Could
give him a
always
minute, I
buy a
suppose.
+1 stamina.
Gives me a second to drink this coffee.
He's deaf mute.
ETV start time, I think.
Wait, he's deaf muted, aka he's.
Dooted.
I could try and improve spirit, or rather the charm, or I could throw at some housing upgrades.
Everyone likes a comfier house.
Right,
That's
fair
what
enough.
most of Shift's money for the last half year has gone into. Yes, right.
Fluent
They sorted out his
Draconic
house.
would be quite unique, though.
What?
He's got
I'm
his
pretty
house
sure
sorted
everyone
out.
has gotten either basic or fluent draconic.
And now he has to skip town. But yeah, Draconic is I mean, it's not like mandatory or anything. The guy is spoilers, but he does speak Equestrian.
like-
Is it that we call the language? Or just
Although I
English?
bet he would be
Funnier.
impressed
it-
if you're able to speak his native language.
Yeah, it may impress him, but
Yeah.
it's not like a prerequisite for communication.
Just
Not
gonna-
necessarily a +1 to charm, but not having it might have been a -1.
I'm going to just also throw my last 2 kilobits at a basic Griffish, in case we meet any Gryphons along the way. Oh, Summer is here.
Summer is in fact here for us because it's getting hot as hell over here.
Summer, you're muted.
Ah,
Now you're not muted.
fuck. Okay. Hello, guys. Did you hear me?
Hello.
Oh hi.
Have you been responding like this whole time and didn't realize you were deaf muted?
Yes.
I've done that.
I feel
That
silly.
is fair enough.
Don't feel
Okay.
too silly. I've once kept up that ruse with myself for about an hour before I realized, oh, wait a second, I've been muted this whole time. How have people been responding to me?
They haven't.
No, they
Is it-
haven't.
they
I just got
haven't?
really lucky for an entire hour.
Okay.
Remind me, the skill points are 3 kilobytes each, right?
You're thinking of it too.
And those are
No,
the
I don't
standard
have enough.
points, so they follow the triangle rules.
I don't
The
have.
screen was for 8.
The
Look at him. Just get my stuff. Yeah, so Hart
I'm
have
ready.
obviously asked the SMBB to ensure that a potential new ally is not left on their own for too
Yes.
long before Hart can show up and, you know, swish him away to some diplomacy area, whatever. Whatever it is they're going to be doing. They do, of course, assure you that they're not expecting you to do high-level diplomacy.
Yes.
But, you know, we'll see how it goes, I suppose.
Indeed.
But yeah, and they would have provided some information, probably overlapping with the information that you've already got in the scheme room, where he's a sort of moderately influential dragon. Is a bit of new money. He's reasonably young. He's only about 220 years old.
Yeah.
And he's sort of inherited a lot of money, but his main sort of controversial thing about him, and the thing that most people would probably know about him, because, you know, it's the most unusual thing, is that he seems to like equestrian culture.
Oh.
Yay.
and presumably equestrians in general.
Mhm.
So it's very unusual for dragons. They're normally not necessarily unfriendly as such, but a lot of them do seem to have a fairly dismissive view of the pones because small pastel creatures can't even survive in lava. It's ridiculous.
Oh.
So what will be happening is it'll be arriving in town at one of the now let me just move the place to the map actually. This is what I think it is. Yes. So he'll be arriving in town at like an airship dock
Oh.
because I had kind of, for some reason, I had been basing all this off. Yes, so he gets off the boat, and I'm like, wait. Number one, San Cimarron doesn't have a port. Number two, there is no water. So it's just an airship that
I
is
don't know.
just. I mean,
If
there
it's a,
might be.
I was gonna say, if it's a dragon on the boat, is there really a chance that there isn't water? Just melts
Just
as
get
they
dragons
go.
to melt the
Yes.
ice. Yeah, an icebreaker, fucking working for your transit there. Anyway, so it's fairly out of the way. It's not like in the middle of town because the thing with dragons is that they are very large and very noticeable, and due to the fact that there aren't really many of them, if you see a dragon, there's a good chance that you could, without too much trouble, identify who they are exactly. So it's kind of difficult for them to like have privacy,
Blended.
blend in, and have I mean, it's not like they're getting harassed by people or anything, but this guy is meeting up with a secret society that isn't supposed to exist and is kind of actively working against the incumbents. So they figured it's make it a bit more subtle than that. So it'll be towards the edge of town at a quiet kind of place. It's not like a pirate airstrip or something. It's just not the main regional airport.
An abandoned airship facility.
Yeah, totally. Just a rickety old tower out in the middle of the wastes that just grabs onto the ship.
Definitely where you want to receive foreign dignitaries.
Absolutely, yeah. But yeah, kind of, excuse me, small, unassuming place that a airship large enough for a dragon could stop at. The airship itself isn't that much larger than the usual air traffic you might see.
I was about to I was about to assume you were gonna say that the airship isn't that much larger than the dragon.
The airship is the dragon.
I mean, that's
it's just a jet bike. I mean, yeah, basically.
He's just arriving here on a giant Scooty Puff Jr.
Essentially, yeah. But yeah, it's not that much bigger than any other airship that you've probably seen a few of scooting around. It just has less rooms on the inside because the guy inside them is really big. So while it might not be his, private airship, he's probably one of the. There's not many passengers aboard.
Okay.
So he would come out from the place, come out from the airship, go down the elevator, go to the receiving place with the, customs officials that are very easy to,
go down the freight elevator.
Go down the freight elevator, yeah, that they usually use to carry tanks up to Cloudsdale. But no, go down it, and he essentially exits the building, presumably having gotten past whatever customs there might be, if there even is any in this place. So, that's a good point. I haven't asked. How would you all have arrived at the place? It's in just the outskirts of town. It's not out into the wastes. Obviously, there's still like main roads nearby and all that. but it's not like in the city center. How would you all have gotten there?
I know Callie had a car.
Yes.
V has already basically said that they would be going their
Uh,
their their selves.
Yeah,
If the
using-
rest of the team is going in a car, she's still bringing Snake because operational flexibility.
Yeah, just the bike. Yeah.
Yeah,
What is? Oh, Snake is a motorcycle.
Sneak is V's motorcycle. Yes.
That makes sense. So, good a car, good a motorcycle. Yeah. Anyway,
Pardon the playing
Uh,
children outside.
I refuse. They shall not be pardoned. Yeah. So you all can find the place pretty easy. You can arrive there whenever. You've got a rough time for when he's going to arrive, but the nature with these things is, you've got hours on either side when think people could arrive, but it's high winds or delays, or oh, it's just a minor border dispute with. So
I'd say in typical airport fashion, arrive there at least an hour or two early.
I think it's more like you're going to be sitting around for an hour or two late.
We
And
need to hold
just
up the-
start observing the environment. Yeah.
We need to prepare the placard with his name on it.
that's a good point. Yeah. You could also spend the time to get a look at the area, have a look around, see if there's anything going on. Which I suppose if you could make perception, perception
Visual?
checks, if you like, visual perception, just for kind of looking around, seeing if there's anything unusual going on.
All right.
Okay, screen will
Who's
come
gonna
on.
roll that? All of us?
All of
You can if you like. Anyone
I
who
think
wants to can.
yeah.
Anyone who doesn't.
let's all roll.
Yeah.
Screen will come on her
And
radius.
I'm definitely participating in the role, and I have specialized in spectrum realigner as well. I'm not zooming though.
Yes.
I have my glasses on, so that's a +1.
Oh, is there
I
only one person
um,
rolling?
Nope,
mean,
I
I
just have to
need
remember
to
which key it is.
I need to open my thingy.
Sheet.
So give me a second.
There.
Exactly.
I think
Screen
there's
rolls
that one
up on
there
her bike.
that I posted in Scheme Room 1. I think is that the most up to date one? To the V2.
I post there both the B3 and the B2. The B3 is for the numbers and the stats, and the B2 is because it has the economy. And
I see.
yeah, and where the hell do I have Cali's B3? Okay.
Let me see. I've got it in my
Fair warning,
history.
by the way. We're in a just as far as voice room is concerned, we are in a Singapore voice room, which is probably not great for anyone but Bright and Buck.
What?
And dual?
A what now?
Oh yeah, and Duel. Yeah. Because
Wow.
I'm noticing a lot of
Um,
crackle, but I'm also the American, so
There,
you,
there is some crackle.
none of you guys have any crackle except for Callie. Except for some.
Yeah, there was a bit of crackle on summer, but it's fine.
Yeah, I feel like it's more of a microphone issue than it is a server issue.
Yeah.
fair enough. I'm just getting yelled at by Discord with a 260 millisecond ping.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I,
mean, it's a
you know what's
delay,
funny?
it's fine.
I have 208 ping in the servers in Singapore.
Discord is connected to your real time. Blah blah. Singapore. Blah blah. Average ping of 175.
You have less ping than me, and you're like half a world away.
It's that fat band, yo.
Okay.
Which I do love the
Anyway.
fact that this. Anyway, yeah. Carry on. Oh yes. You were getting your character sheet.
Perception. Hey,
2
I am
successes.
impressed.
That's pretty good for two guys. Yeah.
Complete success. That's good.
Also, the fact that the cop has the lowest score of all of us. Lowest result, I guess.
So as you're looking around, you've got plenty of time to people watch, I suppose, and nobody really seems to hassle you at all. You do notice there seem to be quite a few kind of slightly shady characters going about, but
Okay.
they all seem to be doing their own thing. Like they arrive, they leave, they talk to each other, they do little deals with briefcases on the fucking concourse. It's quite obvious that this place is a bit of a hotspot for organized crime, just because it's presumably much easier to bypass security, customs, etc. Downside being it's quite low throughput, but if you just need to get a few things across the border or one large thing, then this would be the place to do it. But
a
you don't
large
notice
thing
anyone who
like.
looks.
Hmm?
What was that?
No, nothing.
I was gonna say there's no one who looks like they're like intending on giving you trouble specifically.
Okay.
So that's fine.
Just that this is where trouble happens if trouble does happen.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
could be. They'd rather you didn't. Like everyone involved
Yeah.
would much rather that things go smoothly. But anyway, you eventually get or hear or see the ship arriving. It's a fairly modest vessel. Wouldn't look out of place anywhere in Equestria or the Dragonlands. Though it's kind of hard to tell if it is Dragon or Equestrian in origin. It's just an airship, as far as you can tell. A few people get off, and then they start unloading the cargo. And of course, on the freight elevator is standing a rather tall figure, because he is just straight up too large to fit down the actual passenger elevator.
1-800 large
And
boy.
1-800 fucking chonker. And after dealing with, the ground crew, the locals, etc., the large figure, walks through and starts looking around at the people in the concourse. He is, of course, the looks familiar because it's this guy. You would have been given a description, name, photograph, etc. of the
Plus
guy.
Wikipedia.
Oh my god, he's so big.
Put him up there. Yeah, he's about the size of the downtown area. No.
You have to keep a kaiju entertained.
Yes. The first problem is getting him to notice that you are there.
Well,
Yeah.
we just hover up and wave the placard. Will that work?
Yeah, if you've just sort of like written the name on a placard.
Yeah,
That's-
in draconian script, nonetheless.
And as slowly and carefully as possible, so we don't accidentally make his name a swear.
Yeah.
How dare you? My mother was a saint. I'm just imagining coming out of the airport and somebody holds up a sign saying "Your mom."
No, yeah, mom.
One sec.
It would be one of those things that, like, missing up one character would turn it from the person to the person's mom and somehow be an insult at the same time.
Maybe.
But yeah, so he notices the sign and says,
First he squints like he's. Oh right, that's how that's. I was like, ah, yes, you must be the welcoming party, I believe.
Yes.
Slightly nervous.
Happy
chuckle.
cow.
And Bucky's probably gonna greet him first in his language, then in Equestrian, just going like, "Welcome to Equestria."
What would the check be for like languages?
Oh, he like.
Let me
Wait,
have a look.
do we need to roll it?
I know you. I'm. I know you like went to the trouble of like getting fluent Draconic. I'm just like, it's like, well, how good is it really?
Oh, okay.
It's
I have
basic-
basic draconic.
Basically, how snarky am I
Oh.
going to be without your accent?
I suppose it would just be
Ah.
culture because it would make. It seems
Yeah,
to make sense to me that
Yeah, that makes
it
sense.
might be mind or it might be spirit and culture. I mean, I could see arguments for both.
You are the DM.
I would say mind and culture because you've been like preparing this ahead of time. So
Mind
it's
And
like
does
culture.
planned out.
fluent? Well, I guess the fluency would affect DC, not the roll.
All right.
And Buck's mind is higher than his spirit, but only just.
Yeah, but
He's a
I
charming
want
lad.
to also salute him.
Yeah,
Two
two successes.
successes.
ahead.
Okay, so he only winces a little bit. It's just like that's a cute touch. I like that.
That's an
Yeah.
effort.
I've only been doing my 15 minutes for a while.
It's the.
What'd you say, Summer?
Me? Nothing.
All right, I thought you said something. Never mind.
You mentioned something about saluting him, which that's
Yeah.
fine. He's just kind
Oh,
of
yes.
like yeah,
Salute.
so
Draconic salute. There's probably a draconic salute.
Who knows?
It's probably
Yeah.
easier for Griffins and Pegasi to do.
Yeah.
Probably.
Yeah, I have basic. Huh? Look, I have 1 point in culture. Nice. Let me
Yes.
do the roll.
Sure.
Um,
Oh.
I failed my 15
It's-
minutes.
polite smiling continues.
And yeah,
Yeah,
but
I
Buck
mean-
is probably just gonna. Buck is just probably gonna. Yeah, we all touched up on our draconic at least, just for just wanted to make sure.
Hello.
Somehow I love the idea that at this dark airport there's kids just running around because there's always kids.
Yeah, actually, no.
It's
I
an
mean,
airport. What do you
actually-
expect?
Gangsters
It
have
backs
families too.
straight up onto a housing estate. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
So it's Heathrow then? No.
Oh my god. So yeah, he's just kind of like politely smiling and looking around, and he's just like, "Is this it? Where is it? Where is this again?"
This is. I haven't actually defined a specific place in town. I was thinking like like Mesa
I mean,
Town.
I figured this was basically like still at the airship port.
Oh yeah. This is like at or just outside or just in,
Just-
kind of
just-
around.
Yeah, just basically on
Yeah.
the. I mean, if it's like right outside the front door, then he's gonna do something weird, which is get distracted by Callie's car and just kind of go like, "Ooh, what's this?" and just start like walking towards it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because Cali's car is literally an almost 80 years old classic painted in, well, not painted, it's metallic. Like
Oh no! He just doesn't know what a car is.
Oh,
Yeah,
There is that. Yeah.
What is car?
He is going to move to pick it up like he can do that. He's big enough to do that.
He's gonna pick it up like a Hot
and I'm
Wheels.
to be like, oh no, don't do that. Please, please, please.
It's fine. It's fine. You know, I know about technology. I know to be gentle with it. And he's just like, as he like, it's like he's picking up like a large dog, and he just kind of like gently hoists it and like turns it to like look underneath it.
Impressive.
Scary
if you did.
hear the sounds.
I can see someone like Buck being like, "Hey, well, you have it up there. Could you?"
I mean, he is currently manhandling your ride. What do you do?
Mr. Argonax, we I'm probably just gonna say something along the lines of, so, you have any plans to go anywhere in the city? In the meantime, while we're waiting for your entourage to arrive.
I presume that you have some kind of reception waiting for me or something like that. What he says,
Yeah.
not even like looking away from the car as he just kind of like gently like taps one of the doors.
We should.
Wow,
We should.
It's got an inside.
Ooh.
We should find a lounge for him to sit in the.
Wait. Swift, I have a question. Like, did we have any specifics? Like, as far as the itinerary is concerned, are we allowed to show him the town, or are we supposed to keep him in one place? Like,
No, he
what
can
was?
go. I suppose they would have given like general guidance. They would have said just keep away from the rough neighborhoods, I guess. But
Oh boy,
otherwise,
it's time for
Despite the fact he arrived in
tourism.
one.
we will, details. What do you talk about? Hart has thought of everything. But yeah, so they would have basically said there's nothing he is required to do, just so long as he doesn't end up someone coming up and trying to shank him, because that'd be really embarrassing for everyone involved.
I would actually. I have a suggestion to make for the team. Actually,
Do some tourism.
yes, this is some tourism. But like, Mr. Argonax is into learning technologies and stuff. So why don't we give him a tour? Why don't we give him a tour of some of the basic industries? We could bring him to Porta just to see the refineries in the heavy industry. We could also go to the university.
I was gonna say, if you say the university, I'm already interested.
Yeah, I could say, yeah, we could go to both. You could either go to Porta for the heavy industry, give him like a quick aerial tour, I guess, if he could fly. And we could also bring him to the university, and Buck could easily just give a quick tour of the campus.
We don't want to kill him.
And I can show him some nice places in downtown.
Oh God, do you really want to go downtown?
Is that really such a good idea? Because we are going to places where he will be seen, and we don't exactly have control of those areas.
Yes.
What if one will like
just take him to Los Arabos? It's fine.
Oh
No problem with taking
we get wrong.
No problem with taking a dragon to a secret military research facility.
Any is there anywhere in particular we would know of as locals that would be less noticeable that also isn't risky? Other than Hiker's Bluff in general?
I mean, there's a lot of the city is not exactly high risk areas. There are like some dragons in Equestria. Not many, but not none. So like it'll be anyone who sees him will be like, oh look, a dragon. That's it. That's odd, but not more than that. And
it's like seeing a Morgan on the roads these days. It's notable, but not noteworthy.
It's like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
they're just like spinning the wheels
Factories,
of the car as he's...
university, and if you let me, some high-class places in downtown.
I mean, can he even fit? Can he even fit in the buildings in downtown?
I mean, there's probably some high-class places that aren't like downtown, but it's up to the DM, I guess.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he's figured out the wheels spin and is just kind of like ticking the rear axle around with his claw, and he's just like, oh, it appears to be filled with air. That's real interesting.
And Buck would probably just go like, I don't suppose there are any practical applications for vehicles up in the Dragonlands.
Is that what this is called? Oh, okay. A vehicle. Interesting.
Specifically an automobile, but there are various there are varieties of the basic concept all over Equestria.
I am seeing a lot of these around the place. This is
Yeah.
What do they do? They appear to like, and he just puts it on the ground and starts like moving it slightly back and forth, a bit like a
like a toy car, yes.
like a large toy car, and it's just like they like roll around. What do you do with these?
I do hope it's in neutral and not in park.
It's in park, and you just hear the wheels screech on the pavement.
Yeah, you better get your
Just
brakes
Callie
serviced
dying in the
after this.
background.
Yeah, Buck is just like we get inside, we get inside it, and we use it for transport.
Oh, okay, that makes sense, and just gives it like a push, and how far it goes, I guess, depends on how slushed the brakes are at this point.
Yeah, the brakes are engaged at the moment on the vehicle, so that it doesn't roll uncontrollably. We're
I mean, he's not gonna
soon as-
like cause an accident with it. He's not like trying to damage the car.
yeah.
He's just.
I mean,
Yeah,
we're
curious.
we'll just give the options that.
Bit of lag there.
A lot of lag there, apparently.
I can hear you okay. Buck, you seem to have lagged out.
Buck just committed
Bucky's kill.
Keemstar.
Lost on the internet in a sea of packets.
Brum, brum.
So the Pacific Ocean then.
Kind of surprising. And again, his ping was higher than mine.
Yeah.
Hey,
So we'll just give it a
Philippines.
minute. I've posted a completely relevant link in the Spec Ops lounge.
Yes. Suddenly V is kind of glad that she parked a little bit further away. Not a lot.
Imagine how adorable he'd find a motorcycle.
He better not find Screen's Gladius.
If any of them are going to be noticeable, it's going to be V's because it's painted black.
Painted black.
Yes,
I want a red bike. No.
it's black
Whatever.
and beat up, but it's
It's
I see.
gray and yellow and white.
Hello? Coming in?
Yes,
Hello.
we can
Hello
hear
there.
you.
There you go.
Good
What
morning,
was
sir.
that?
I was just talking.
oof.
Oh. Did we lose?
I think we just lost a spectator.
Looks like it.
Everyone's
3D
here.
count?
Okay, so you were saying, Buck, before the internet decided to interrupt you.
Yeah. As I was saying, I was gonna offer to give them a tour of the university first.
As just you can, of course, hear traffic. Not even that far away. You can probably see a road from nearby here, and occasionally a car will zip by.
Okay. I mean, I feel like he may need a little convincing first because he's having a lot of fun with these cars.
Yeah, sure. Give me a moment. It's like, Mr. Argonax, I happen to be one of the faculty in the faculty of engineering for the local university. I suppose you'd be interested in getting a tour of the campus.
This is just kind of that, perks his ear a little bit, and he's just like, yeah, that could be interesting. Are there more of these things? And then he gives Callie's car just a little bit of a rattle.
Yeah, certainly. In fact, we could actually demonstrate the operation of this vehicle as we head over to the university.
Oh, okay. I mean, he's just thinking about how he's going to be able to like see underneath it while it it's like what the fuck.
And so I would like to, after the visit to the college, if you're still interested, to show you a bit of the cultural life of San Cimarron's downtown. There's many stuff to do in there.
Perhaps.
Lots.
And then he starts thinking, oh, I could do with some refreshments. In fact, I could do with a refreshment or two right now. Say, before we head to the university and then go see the nightlife. And then he just kind of chuckles to himself because he's lived more of his life with the sun than without it. So he's just like, oh yeah, I wonder if they still call it that.
It's just
I just made
life.
myself sad.
Yeah.
B's eye just kind of raises at the nightlife comment, realizing that she's not the oldest person in the conversation right now, which is unusual for her.
It's like, say, could you would there be anywhere to get a shot of lava or something like that? Like a nice horn blend or something. Could do with it's been a long flight, and just kind of performatively, does a little stretch. There's a slight kind of, he can't hear it, but maybe you can, of just like slight tearing of his suit that is clearly like not fit for purpose.
I'm actually just or rather, Buck is actually just gonna go. How are you with gasoline?
Yeah, that might actually hit the spot.
Could get a straw.
All right, who's taking the small loan the worth of a small country to pump that much gas?
I mean, he's just looking for a fucking cup of dragon coffee. He's not like
Yeah, we're not refueling a 737 here.
I mean,
it's just probably like a jerry can's worth of gasoline is a good shot.
I mean, clearly jet fuel would be preferable.
Yeah.
I mean, and look where you are.
Actually, give me a moment. And Buck is probably just going to run over to the airport techs that to the nearest airport tech he could find, and ask how much, or rather, where they could get where they could get some JP1 or something like that. Or so.
What kind of thieves are you?
Thieves. We're just trying to give the dragon something to drink.
We'll pay.
Yeah. So
it's probably not the weirdest request I've ever had.
You'll probably be able to find like engineers, techs, etc. Fairly easily, because this place isn't as commercial as other places. So there's a lot of service crew about. So you'll be able to find one without too much trouble, and it just kind of gives you a bit of a look as to why this random guy off the street is coming up and asking about refueling, like, as far as he's aware, aircraft.
Yes.
So we'll say that, I mean, yeah, I guess we have loads of, what was it, AP1? RP1? I don't know.
The RP1 is
Jet
kerosene. Fuel. Oh my god, it's rocket fuel.
I mean, there are some of the older ships.
That's one way to take care of your dragon problem. Just fucking blast him into space.
But some of the older airships do still have a couple of those rocket motors. We do have some RP1 around somewhere. It might be a bit old.
Ooh, aged.
You say old. You say old. I say aged.
But yeah, just kind of gives you a look at that. Shrugs. I mean, if it burns.
Yeah.
I just refuel the ships, man.
Yeah, just get me a can of that stuff. Our guest needs something to. Our guest needs a pick me up before we head on over to town.
He kind of looks slightly incredulous that you get a can.
A refueling can. The stuff that you put. Does your service vehicle have like that jerry can thing in the back? Yeah.
Just in the background, Argonauts just kind of like curiously poking at like a bus stop or something.
He kind of like
I'm not gonna lie, that's cute.
looks out onto like the airfield area, which is, and kind of says, I mean, I suppose we normally put big hoses up into the hull. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. I don't need
I mean,
that much.
fucking just selling people fuel on the street. I don't know. I mean,
I mean,
I mean,
it's
I
not
have
really
a
something we've
feeling.
done
I have a
before.
feeling that I
not-
just have a feeling that with the right amount of KB, no questions will be asked. Here's your jerry can.
because it's not even the dodgiest thing that's happened at this airfield, like by a long shot.
Yeah.
Today.
Today. Yeah.
Today.
But
Well,
Buck
this guy's
offers.
a tech.
Wait,
There
Buck
you go.
offers a kilo. Buck offers a kilobit.
I mean,
Oh, there
at
was one of
that
the
he
flights
seems
departing.
reassured. Yeah, that was the flight. He seems reassured at some cold hard cash, and says, "Ah, well, I mean, I suppose you'd be paying for it, of course."
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think I look like? Some kind of 2-bit engineer?
Roll me like a barter.
Okay. Hang on a moment. What is barter?
So it's
What
very
is my
nice.
barter?
Oh, what's your barter? Yeah.
Is 5. If your most up to date sheet is the one that's V 3.0.
Hey, yeah, it's V 3.0. I do have a point in barter, so I do roll 5. Hang on. Oh,
3 successes. Yeah, that's probably more than enough considering you've already offered to pay up front to convince this guy to sell some fuel to a guy. Because he thinks that it's probably not enough to get into the local news if you do something with it. So he'll say, well, okay, fine. You just hang out there, and I'm going to go see how you pour out a little bit of RP1. Like take the kilobit and head off over to the refueling area. There's a big fuel dump, I suppose. They're kind of like bulges in the ground because they'd be mostly buried bunkers where they'd have the different types of fuel. Like there's probably one for gasoline. There's probably one for like jet fuel. Presumably one for kerosene for just in case they need to start another space program. Yeah, just come. There's the Pony SpaceX rocket comes by occasionally. Got to refuel it. Thing up there.
Horse sex. That's something. Moving swiftly along.
Moving swiftly on. It'll take several minutes because these were designed to have like massive hoses lock in to like refueling ducts on
yes.
building sized craft. But
Quack.
he eventually manages, probably with a little bit of creativity, to get a little drip of the fuel, enough to fill up like a jerry can, which might not even register in their measuring tools.
Okay.
And so we'll eventually come back and pass it to you. It does kind of smell of kerosene, and it's a little bit damp because it's he might have spilled a little bit. But he says, "Well, there you go, I guess."
All right, thanks.
I just realized this could literally be like a gel pack of fuel. Because he just goes pop. The entire thing.
I mean,
Can
actually,
and
that's a good point. Yeah. So, do dragons eat metal if they want to?
Yes.
But,
are you gonna argue
you
with
have
them?
a few just like a metal can of highly reactive substance.
Yeah.
And then he makes his excuses and leaves quickly.
Thank you very much.
So yeah, I've got some engineering stuff to do on the other side of the airfield. See ya.
Thank you. And Buck just calls for assistance just to carry it over to Argonauts.
I go there.
I need to
I
do
go
some
there after
engineering.
all. I'm the biggest one here, beyond the dragon.
Well, I think the biggest one
Alright.
here is clearly our guest, but besides
But
that.
the largest player character.
Yeah, I think Callie's got a quite high body. He's strong clad.
Yeah. Let's
Tall
carry this over.
body.
Fucking
He'll
I'm a
help.
strong
Hoodie.
lad.
Come on, Grandad, let's get the shopping in.
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming Kali just carries the jerry can of RP1 kerosene over to Argonax. Buck follows along, and he just says, here's what we could find in short order. This used to be fuel that we used for a space program.
You use this as okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
He's kind of like, takes a sniff like he's taking, sniffing a glass of wine, and he's just kind of, it's like, oh, you use food as fuel.
Apparently, it's red, so it looks like wine as well. Though,
Oh,
I mean, it's in a
Rocket
can, so-
wine.
That's right.
Rocket
RP1
wine.
is red. I
Rocket
forgot about
wine.
that.
So
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, Buck is probably gonna say something along the lines of, "It's combustible, and exhaust gases are always useful for propulsion."
And he just fucking throws the whole can into his mouth, and then just like crunch, and then there's just kind of like a, those like ads for sour candies where there's just like, they take a bite and
Pops
their
out
face
the
just
ear.
goes like, and then,
Yes.
His
and
face
then
implodes on itself.
and then there's just like a, the belch that's just like, 0.1 second of, rocket, propulsion. It's just like, and then she's like, that's so that is, he's just kind of, going off, almost babbling about comparing it to the taste and texture of crude oil, which is, something they would have quite commonly at home. But it's just like, so if you distill it,
Yes.
I see.
We do actually have quite a few products that's based off of distilled crude oil.
And maybe if there's time we can arrange a tasting.
Need to roll to see how much rocket fuel it takes to get a dragon drunk.
Oh God. Yeah. I could explain the distillation process as we go along if you'd like.
Perhaps. I just kind of gives Kelly's car on a little nudge. It's like, I'm almost certainly not fitting in that thing, which I'm presuming you are. That's how you're getting to the university.
Yes.
So if we're going to converse en route, would that mean carrying a passenger would be most undignified?
Wait, Swift, does he have a headset of sorts? No, he doesn't.
I mean, no.
He might own a pony-sized headset that he, thinks is a hilarious novelty.
Yeah, he's using it as a cuff link. But I mean, you could ask him if he has a phone or something.
Do you have some kind of? Do you have any way of communicating? Do you have like a phone or something that they can call you?
It's like, oh, hang on a sec, and then he just kind of like reaches into his chest pocket and pulls out it just like it's pinched between two the fingernails just extremely carefully, and he just pulls out a pair of reading glasses to squint at this tiny little screen. And this is just this is like a phablet. It's just like
oh my God,
the largest phone that's commercially available before it stops being a phone. And he's just like, does this work? And just kind of he's being extremely careful with it.
Does he actually have reception in Equestria?
Probably
an equestrian device.
Is that what those bars are?
Yes.
Oh, I've never seen
Alright,
those
Never
before.
seen
yeah.
those before.
It's literally just a normal equestrian phone.
Okay.
What's a firmware update?
Oh no.
Question: Can Buck just jury rig something that he could put on his ear to put the phone next to his ear?
You have big hopes about equestrian microphones there.
You could probably. I mean, Buck's a clever guy. He could certainly is capable of constructing such a device. I'm not sure what you use for materials.
A box of
One
scraps.
of these spare phones.
I mean, you'd have plenty of scraps back at the board. However, you are still in an airfield.
I have just use whatever's in the trunk of Kali's car.
Okay.
I'd probably let you do a repair check to try and cobble something together with materials on hand that would function, because, well, Buck's really good at that sort of thing. He's probably one of the few people who could actually do it.
All right, rolling.
I was about to say we could assist, but yeah.
3 successes. So with the materials, you could make something that's probably like just about adequate for like one trip from a dragon like halfway across town. It wouldn't really be like comfortable, and communicating might be difficult because of the wind, and it just sort of like jiggling around. But it would be physically possible to like communicate with it.
Yeah. Buck would just do that and say, "Here, put this on your ear. This is something on. This is a bit of a short notice, so it's not the most comfortable thing. I'll try to make something better when we get to the university where I can get some stuff."
He is impressed and entertained.
That'd be someone's project for the day. Hey, do you want some extra marks? Make a dragon-sized headset.
Just get a student to do that.
There you go. But yes.
All right. So the others, what do you guys want to do on the way?
Yes,
Well,
make
I
small
don't know,
talk
to
with
be
him.
honest.
Make small talk with him. Try to maybe learn about how he's doing with his projects at home. What does he hope to gain? And
V is definitely
something to
remaining
break the
silent
ice.
most of this, and is probably going to get to her bike to be either tail or top for the convoy that now seems to be forming.
I mean,
Okay.
he's basically just going to be like flying way overhead and completely ignoring all air traffic laws. But like nobody can stop him. So, as
the guys at the guys at the airport control get momentarily panicked by something appearing on their radar. But carry
on. As far as conversation with Julie's, the conversation is a little bit mundane for him. He's kind of a little bit kid in a candy store at the moment, with all this technology stuff around the place. He doesn't like understand everything that Buck is talking about, but he's like, that sounds neat.
He's
Yeah. So
enjoying Equestria so far.
yeah, that's awesome. So how's the arrangement? How's our traveling arrangements going to be?
What?
Presumably, Callie's car is going to point in the right direction, and then V is going to follow up the back to keep an eye on, the usual escort type thing of keeping an eye on things. That would make sense, considering V doesn't necessarily have access to Buck's lab, and Buck's in the car, presumably.
Yeah, and Buck is probably going to ask Argonax to fly low enough that they could see him.
Okay. He's just kind of looking at
Don't go too high. You might run into the aircraft. Similar to the one that you got in here. We'll be leading with this vehicle. Sorry, we'll be leading with this vehicle.
So I'm not. So I shouldn't be getting a closer look. Okay.
What?
He's expressing disappointment at not being allowed to get a closer look at the air traffic.
Oh, okay. We can facilitate that maybe when they're on the ground, but like when they're in the air, they're kind of fragile.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, air traffic control is very particular about minimum distances.
Curious Kaiju wants to have a look at your plane.
But just the
Accept,
arrangement.
deny.
But yeah, arrangement is we'll be just keep an eye on our car. We'll be leading.
Okay.
And we'll meet you there at the university. Keep your phone on for the duration of the trip, so that in case we encounter any problems along the way, we could relay the information to you.
I mean that saves me fiddling with it in flight, because boy, this thing is tiny.
Indeed, it is.
Sorry, just people messaging me.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, you've got the arrangement for the travel. I suppose it's mostly a matter of Arjanax being able to keep an eye on the car and not getting distracted by things on the way. Though he'd be communicating with Buck for the trip.
Yes.
So
I assume Buck just has it on speakerphone, and everyone in the car could talk to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone can communicate.
Is V conferenced in?
Yes.
Totally, yeah.
This is a Discord call. Yes.
Oh gosh.
Open up Discord on the phones. It's all fine. Or whatever Discord.
Phone software is too old for it. No.
The DM group is just like it's like the way Pelmy just has Cyrillic characters in his like Discord username. It's like that's you're just there for like 10 minutes trying to figure out how to add Argonax.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll for using basic technology, but no. Yeah, I imagine Buck, you'd be trying to keep Arjanax on track and not have him
Yes.
just fly off into town, never to be seen again.
Wait, he's taking the train? No. Sorry, that was an obvious joke and I had to go for it.
Oh.
Yeah, it looks like you just derailed the conversation.
Ah.
That's it, you're all fired. Yeah, I don't think a roll would strictly be necessary for that.
I'm going to drive a bit slower than usual, so our dragon friend can have it more easy to follow us.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, this makes sense. And he can just kind of like spook all the traffic as he kind of gets a look at the fucking cars on the way.
It's going to be difficult getting through the university car park.
Oh no!
But that's a solution for you in 5 minutes.
Yes.
Or actually, you right now. So.
I was guessing just like setting him down on the big like the big campus like football field or something like that.
Yeah, I imagine the university has quite a wide variety of areas. So there probably will be several big open areas for various purposes. Like there'll probably be a sports site. Then again, you'd think maybe these days they'd all be done indoors. But I don't know, whatever. So yeah, there's like a plaza, football fields, car park, the roof of a building. You might need to speak to the architects. Hey, could your building support the weight of a dragon suddenly landing on the top?
I mean, it was designed for snowfall.
Snowfall
Yeah.
and dragons.
Yes.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
the
just a
dragon will
field.
slowly
Sorry.
solve the problem of the snow.
That's a good point. Yeah, snow doesn't really seem to land on Argonax. Neither does water, oddly. It just sort of the snow melts, almost reaches him, sizzles, and the tiny little piece of water floats away. So he's kind of followed around by a cloud of mist
Oh.
that's slightly odd, but he's probably used to it, presumably.
He's
I
toasty.
imagine it snows in the
Yeah.
Dragonlands. He's a very warm lad.
That's
He shows up
heavy
as a
metal,
miniature
though.
sun on thermal view. Potentially, you'll be able to see with your not the specialize, the spectrum realigner. He does show up like a minor star. But what were you saying? Sorry, I thought someone was saying something.
No, you basically said exactly what I was thinking of asking. So,
That's fair
like,
enough.
if we lose him, V can just track him by looking for the star in her spectrum realigner.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he's a little difficult to lose track of.
Basically, um,
For
it's a
us and
disadvantage
for
in
anyone else,
head-to-head
so
combat,
important
but,
to note.
you know, yes. So, whereabouts are you going to be? Oh yeah, you said like one of the sports fields on the edge of the campus. You were aiming
Yes.
to like stop. Okay.
Yeah, the old abandoned like football field that no longer has any grass on it.
Yes. So I'll say that he follows along with you. He doesn't really have trouble not keeping track of you. You've got the GPS thing going as well. He probably gets distracted quite a lot, and it maybe takes like a few times longer than you might expect because he keeps going,
Yeah.
"Ooh, what's that? Ooh, what's that? Ooh,
Yeah,
what's
no
that?"
worries. And every time he asks something, Buck is just like, voice with an internet connection, just telling, just giving information.
Sounds about normal, yeah. But yeah, eventually you will arrive, and Argonax will be able to land there as well, near the beautiful San Cimarron University. That I assume is beautiful. It probably is.
Oh, once upon a time it was.
It's all right.
It's all right, yeah. The
Ooh, what's that?
I was just it's the lawnmowers. It's fine for all the grass that we have. But yeah, the place is not particularly busy. The campus does have a lot of cars dotted around the place because it always
Yes.
does. And you definitely get looks from absolutely everybody. Who just kind of, is that a fucking dragon? It's a dragon. I didn't. Was there a scheduled visit? How very strange. So everybody notices. Nobody comes up to ask because most of them, it's not really their business as such. Though you do get a few people who just kind of like stop and watch what's going on with interest from a distance.
And Buck is gonna try to make conversation throughout that, just to make it look like it's not an unsupervised dragon in the campus.
An unsupervised dragon.
There is a slight disconnect between the theory of the dragons can go wherever the fuck they like, the practice of ponies would rather dragons don't go everywhere they like, and then the practice of but ponies can't really stop dragons from going anywhere they like. So it's always unusual. But yeah, presumably
Actually,
he's not here to put the place down.
I have a question. Is Argonax able to fit on the road?
I would say so.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, like 2-lane road just for like travel inside the university grounds.
Yeah.
So like he fits
Well-
between the buildings.
Yes. Okay. And he's going to basically walk along with them to the engineering department.
There's a few students and faculty members in cars trying to leave or arrive who kind of like stop upon seeing this obstruction, and generally they just sort of think about it and then reverse out of your way and just you know what, I'll you go past. So
Yeah,
so I
Buck
suppose
is just kind of being all sheepish, going like, just waving at them, just like, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
it's all very, very awkward, and would
Yes.
be a faux pas if not for the fact that everyone's just like, what? Yes, carry on. What you were saying.
But yeah, Buck is probably just going to lead him to the universe or to the engineering department, which I'm assuming has at least some kind of like plaza in front of the campus itself, in front of the building itself. Have him settle
Yeah, there'll
down,
be like
and
an open area.
he'd probably call for the dean to kind of help him out.
The dean. It's probably reasonable to assume that he's not like in bed or something, like he hasn't arrived
No,
at
no.
midnight.
It's
So,
late,
yeah, and
but it's
Buck
not
would-
like evening. It's like midnight or something. Yeah.
So
Are you
while
gonna- Oh, yeah. Carry
while Buck is away, Argonax is going to spot the like the like student society's notice board, and he's like, oh, what's this?
I'm going to go next to him and squint at the board too. Like, you can play that game.
He's just kind of like, all kinds of societies. Are these research, or he's like, what's the and I feel like this is the part is I don't know, geography society. I pick this entirely based on the rumor that the geography society in the university I went to was actually a swingers club.
Oh, what?
I can 100% believe that.
V being an alumnus does not comment.
Well, Buck being an alumnus will neither confirm nor deny if he was ever in that club.
I can just see the two of them looking at each other and nodding and knowing exactly what they're not going to say.
Argonax doesn't know any better and just thinks it's like, oh, this is the people looking at maps. Is there a way to join these societies, or?
I assume he's asking that of Callie, who came over to stand next to him.
Yes, presumably anyone who'd listen, but Buck isn't there, so.
Yeah, Buck isn't there. I'm just kind of playing around, but like, yeah, do what you do.
These are basically groups of people that like to do stuff together. So, like Geography Society probably will be like a group of students that like to watch maps and stuff. Like they get together, they watch maps together.
Swift.
Yep.
Swift. I have a
Yes.
strong feeling that V needs to roll charm to not burst out laughing.
I feel like Rally's more appropriate for that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're probably right.
Rally would be more appropriate, yeah.
Because I don't anticipate like if we're actually gonna do that, then I'm gonna have to add a stamina to that.
Sure.
Buck is inside, just like,
Okay, fine.
the fuck are you guys talking about? Without actually saying it. It's just he
thank
hears it on
goodness
the
I didn't get
he hears it on
zero.
the comm.
And here comes his Argonax's actual question, which is more along the lines of, but if you do things together, then how do you establish dominance? I don't understand.
Oh no!
It's
Okay,
more
yeah,
of a
no,
community.
that's now breaking into a chuckle. We're not gonna let that one go by. That's a fail.
Okay, Mr. Arginax, let me explain. Sometimes, sometimes ponies and other creatures don't like don't do stuff for dominance because people mostly do stuff because they have a personal liking of it beyond if they are good or bad at it. Like people get together to do stuff together because that's what makes them feel good. If, for example, dragons like to establish dominance, if I'm right,
That is normally
and
the way.
so,
Yeah.
well, it's because they like to establish dominance. Well, and other creatures do other things that they like. For example, get together and simply talk about the stuff. Like, it depends on what do they like to do.
He's genuinely fascinated by this explanation. It's like there is some actual honest to god cultural exchange going on here.
Yeah.
I feel like I feel like with that, like, a charm roll isn't even necessary. That's just like, oh, this is very interesting.
Yes, culture.
I'm a nice verb.
It's good burp. He understands how society works in Equestria.
Yes.
But Argonax is from a very strange land.
Indeed. So does is that enough time to have elapsed for Buck to like emerge from the university faculty with
Probably.
the dean?
Yeah, I mean, unless he has a follow-up question or Calamu has anything further to say, or Duel or V, of course.
No,
I don't have
probably
much.
Yeah, V is still far too busy trying to not burst out laughing.
done.
Yeah, if V is doing damage control on themselves.
Yes.
You know, Buck drugs out the dean. The dean is like probably going to. I don't know. Swift, you have nominal control of the dean.
Yes.
What would she be doing?
The dean is slightly confused. Some ex-co-worker question mark has just turned up and is talking about a dragon arriving. It's here at the engineering school.
As far as I'm aware, Buck is still actually like employed here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
he is.
no, V is the ex student. Medical student
All right.
too.
Okay. Yeah. So
But,
yeah.
but Buck works in the university, so he's using the fact he's a faculty member here.
Ah, yes. For some reason, I thought he was X. I must be thinking of something else. But yeah,
Maybe
so
you're thinking
they'll
of
like
those who exist.
come out because Buck, who she knows to be a pretty sensible person, is talking about a dragon turning up, which seems very strange, but is presuming it to be true. So she'll come out and, well, be rather surprised at Argonax being there.
Hello.
And she's just slightly concerned. And she'll, like, turn to Buck and say, "What's this about?"
This is Argonax Invictus. Is it Invictus? Is her name?
I don't
That's
even
more-
remember.
Yeah. It says I'm looking at the picture. It's Argonax Invictus. Yeah.
It's
It's
kind of
it's
like
a title as such.
yeah, just kind of introduces himself with a long string of unpronounceables.
Yes.
Yeah, he's come all the way from Draconia to observe equestrian culture and technologies, and I thought it wise to bring him over here for a tour of the university and our projects.
The bird here was telling me about the Geography Society. It's very interesting.
And then Buck just looks at Argonax, looks at V, and looks at Colin, and is like, okay then.
The Dean is, of course, always going to maintain that the Geography Society is a completely normal and respectable part of the societies in the university. They just really like maps.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Nothing unusual or unprofessional going on here. So they'll say, "Okay, that's quite interesting." They, I wasn't informed of this, or well, they'll say
It's
they
a bit
weren't
of a short
informed.
notice, yeah.
That's fine. She'll frown slightly as they think of like, is this official business or is this something else? But if so actually, yeah. So they'll ask for clarification. They ask, so this is a casual visit then?
It's more a casual visit than anything else. I'm sorry for the interruption with this.
That's she'll probably be generally fine with the interruption. Because being the dean of engineering, they do have things to do, but a dragon arriving is such a rare thing that they're like, oh, okay, well, if there's an interruption, at least it's one that's neat.
Neat.
I like how
Neat.
both sides of this conversation seem to find the entire thing just neat.
I just think they're neat.
Yes.
RJ holding up a car.
Yep. Yep.
Specifically
think they're
Callie's car again.
some banged up hatchback. So yeah, they'll basically
poor old Callie's like antique car that he takes very good care of, and he's just like, ooh, wee.
madly scuffed. But yeah, so they'll say, well, I mean, if you want to show them around, it doesn't look like they'll fit inside the building, but they trust Buck to not get anything like damaged or bring the building down or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of just imagining bringing him over to the back of the building where there's probably another like field, and there's this was just in my mind's eye, but like the research labs have the research labs are kind of open in plan from the old building itself, and they have glass walls where you can actually see the people working inside.
Ooh.
I got those poor students.
So in general, the stereotypical sci-fi research lab that you can see from
Yes.
across the city. Yes.
Nice.
Absolutely.
Even Kali is interested.
Even
And,
Speedwagon was afraid.
And yeah, but Buck is just gonna give him the basic tour, show things like advanced robotics and other mechanical stuff and electrical and stuff like that. And Buck is actually going to make mention of his last project there, which was the miniaturized sunstone reactors that he was developing.
I hear a lot about this sunstone stuff. He definitely wants to see more of that because.
So I take it that you're. I just have a question. What is is sunstone basically just rocks that have solar energy trapped in them, so to speak?
I mean, the main thing the most general knowledge that we would have about them is their flavor.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to make the flavor
they taste like?
contiguous.
Oh right, okay. I don't have a in the spirit of literary mystery, I, the author, don't have an explanation for where sunstone came from.
Okay. So Buck is just gonna say it's not actually very clear where this came from. We discovered it shortly after, shortly after sundown and stuff. Like he just fluff it around as him explaining things in a scientific way.
Yeah.
And hopefully captivating his attention.
Attention status captivated.
Would that need a check, DM?
I'd say a check might be useful to see how skillfully not skillfully. how well Buck presents it, because he will be like just innately interested. But there's always going to be a more interesting way to put it, or a snappier way.
I thought this would be more interesting, and there is this is even more interesting than I thought it was.
Yeah, basically.
So
like
what am I rolling?
I suppose it would be charm.
Mind
All right,
culture.
Maybe
Something.
mind culture. Yeah, let's go for a culture roll.
Okay, mind culture. Okay.
Mind culture, yeah.
I mean, I guess it could be
Dropping-
mind Suntech because it's talking about Suntech, but you got to make it interesting. So
No, it's not sun.
Yeah.
It's not just Suntech. It's like mechanical stuff in general, like the entire history and stuff like that.
I imagine the university would have examples of everything, basically, going
basically.
back like a century.
And I'm just gonna.
Just have the beginning of Suntech just being like the little solar panels in calculators from the 70s.
Yes.
A little Suntech museum.
I am dropping 1 stamina onto it.
Sure.
Okay, hang on a moment. That's 7. Two successes. Ugh. Not rolling too well today.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the best description you've ever given, but it is, interesting to an extent. Because, like I say, he would be interested regardless. But you've just made it sufficiently interesting. Words follow.
So, in this case, he points to like almost like a random bit of like just someone's random research project in the window, and he's just like, would I be able to get a closer look at that?
Oh, let's go ask.
Yes.
And here's an opportunity for a split-second reaction. He looks like he's about to tap on the window.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no. Wait.
Yeah, I'll have Callie do that. That. Yeah.
Okay, it's like, oh, well, I'm not. He's just kind of briefly just like confused.
No, but Buck is gonna go
Let
like
me-
they're currently working on it. It's best not to disturb them
But-
immediately, from the outside like that.
I see. Okay.
I'll go talk to them and have them present their work.
Yes.
He is a little bit miffed by that, and now the other three of you have to keep him from getting bored for another 5 minutes.
Fast work on Callie.
I'm going to tell.
The window stays unshattered.
What?
No, never mind. I'm just talking shit. Carry on.
Yeah. Yes, you stopped him from breaking the window because he's going to
Yes.
tap on it like a fish tank.
Well, I'm going to distract.
I'm going to say that happened, in universe, and he's just like, oh. Anyway,
Somebody in the car really likes dragons. Carry on.
Well, I know a way to keep him distracted. I'm going to tell him about my life.
Okay.
I'm basically going to tell him about that nightlife I've been telling about to visit later. I'm going to tell him
Oh yeah.
I basically work as a bartender, and that I'm also going to basically tell about being a bartender, like with super, like what's the word for something like amazing, but like Ugh. Like, like, ah, damn it, I don't. Sometimes I forget the words.
That's fine. Take your time.
Well, so basically, I'm going to tell him about bartendership and the fascinating world of making cocktails,
Oh
and
no,
how I also went to university.
dragon cocktails.
So he's somewhat confused that it's just like, what, you don't just like, dig your own cocktails out of the ground? It's just like, seems kind of unusual.
And I'm going to say, yes, because that's how different cultures work.
Oh, okay.
Our
For
cocktails are a cultural thing.
example, yes. Basically, the social part of bars is really important because for some people, bars represent one of the main ways to get distracted about their work life, and is a nice way to escape from the problems of life and at the same time to socialize with other creatures that you're friends with while sharing something to drink.
Is this socializing thing that thing you were going to show me later?
Yes.
Oh, okay. He's skeptical but curious.
I wonder
continue
how yeah.
because he's it's like he might be into the culture in a vacuum, but he's like just kind of listening to it on his own in his room. So well, his
And,
room, his cave. He's sitting on a horde of like CDs.
Is this being mentioned in general?
No, I'm just kind of describing the a typical draconic approach to culture.
Okay, so it hasn't.
anyone else
So
going to do
music is
anything?
not. Music has not necessarily been mentioned then. Okay,
I mean, it came up in the
unless
brief.
Callie mentioned it. I mean, it was.
It was, yeah, briefly came up in the brief. Haha.
I think V's gonna keep that little nugget of knowledge saved for when this actually needs to be resolved.
Yes.
Yes.
And
It doesn't seem necessary yet.
so if no one else is going to do anything in the time being, Buck is just going to return with the research crew.
Oh yeah, some students in tow. Like, what the hell is this all about? That's a fucking dragon.
Easy
no.
now. He's
This is your doctoral defense.
Yeah.
Here's your sword and shield.
Good luck.
Yeah, so they'll be led out and be like, what the fuck? But not out loud, because it looks like this dragon is a refined sort, so it would be unseemly to swear in front of them. So far.
And Buck is just going to quickly explain that he was interested in the project. And maybe they could talk about
it. Toothy grin of a giant dragon, just kind of like, please dance for me, monkeys.
They kind of, look up at him and then keep looking up and then keep looking up, and their neck gets kind of sore, but keep looking up apprehensively.
And Buck would probably just nudge them and go like, proceed with your defense.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we could talk about the project.
So what is this thing?
Oh shit. Hold on.
I've got one joke in mind for this, and that's it, basically.
It goes ding when there's stuff.
It's a discombobulator.
It's a turbo encabulator.
Oh god, it's not that thing again.
And what kind of phone is it? That's it. That's my whole joke.
See, I was getting the fucking retro encabulator script.
Oh my god.
It was entirely too much effort for the fucking low hanging fruit that I was going for.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, Buck is
Yeah,
actually just gonna.
Well, they were basically just going to start describing their work, which is, of course, constructing the first equestrian retro encabulator. Which generates power instead of using the relative motion of conductors and fluxes. It, of course, uses the modial interaction of magnetoreluctance and capacitive directance, which, of course, considering the sun has disappeared, will be quite vital in sustaining the. And then, they'll carry on speaking.
It's a glorified power converter.
Wow.
So he just kind of.
The question is, does Buck say that?
No, he doesn't say that out loud. He doesn't say that out loud.
So they just die inside and outside.
So he's just gonna fucking just kind of looking at his phone, looking at the charger port, and just like, where does it plug in?
And Buck just gets reminded, actually, I have something that I need your help with. I need to make a headset big enough for this guy, so that we can keep in contact with him. And the one I cobbled together using this guy's spare parts, and he points to Callie, is about to fall apart.
Happy cow.
I kind of look at the dragon, look at Buck, and I think, there'd probably be, someone in the machining shop would be able to do that, I guess.
All right.
We've just been trying to reconfigure the hydrocoptic Marzivalens. There we go.
All right.
They're basically saying they're kind of busy, but I mean,
yeah. If our guest has no questions about your work, then you can go right back to.
I mean,
your encabulator.
Can I keep one?
Maybe, but sorry.
There's only one right now. We're hoping eventually to have one in every home.
Yeah, we'll let you know when this thing reaches mass production. At the moment, you have a single prototype.
Okay. This is a little bit disappointed at being told no, you can't have you can't put this on the pile and sit on it.
But Buck would Buck be able to notice his disappointment and say, "Don't worry, we'll get you something in the gift shop or something like that."
The university gift shop. Projects for sale.
No. We just get him a jersey from the university.
Oh my god! He just puts it on his finger.
Yeah, a couple hundred jerseys and stitch them together to some massive
Can I
tile.
get one?
I mean, sure.
Yeah, just get one for yourself. It's right there.
Special order, send away. Takes about a month.
I have gone from the Talon Stretch one.
But yeah, would Buck basically require to roll again to fix the headset?
I'd say that you probably don't need to roll because Buck's got like 4 repair, 5 mind, and he can boss people around in the university, and they won't ask questions. Or well, they might ask questions, but there'll be questions like, "How do you use the stand drill?" But so
the
yeah,
secret to all your problems is 10mm sockets.
Buck could spend some time wrangling some students to construct a device that would allow him to just use the phone
Yeah, which would
comfortably.
also mean that the three of them now have to entertain Argonax.
The challenge is not finding the students. The challenge is finding students that aren't already drunk.
Drunk students can operate the machinery just fine for a while. It's when they suddenly
At
can't
least
anymore. But
once.
yeah. But yeah, so if you like, Buck could go off and do that. We'll just leave it to the other three to stop Argonax
Yep.
from just fucking off into the city forever. Following a car on its way to the other side of the country.
I think like a fucking cat with a laser pointer. There's me. I feel like we've already done two elements of like Buck has gone into the university to do something, and Argonax is about to go and get himself into trouble. So
that is true. We could probably just like bypass that bit and just say, yeah, it goes on fine. You talk about general tech stuff. Argonax successfully doesn't do anything that calls the police on you. Though you're not entirely sure, can dragons have the police called on them? Who would arrest this guy? But anyway, yeah. So that works out okay, and Buck can eventually come back with a device.
I'm just thinking of the fucking my god, just driving a Sam battery around in Red Faction Guerrilla, and the random squaddies just don't pay attention to you, and I just imagine it's because just like, okay, you know what, we're just not equipped to deal with this, so we're just not going to. It's like that with the dragon. It's just like, you know what? I can't stop him from doing what he wants. So I'm not even going to try.
The question that everybody's trying to not be.
Yeah, and attracting attention could be fatal. So let's
I mean, you're pretty sure that this guy is allowed to be in like Equestria. Pretty sure. Reasonably sure.
He has diplomatic immunity, and it hasn't been revoked.
Yeah, it's not written down anywhere. It's just, at any time he scribbles, I do what I want on a piece of paper.
Don't worry.
Anyway,
I have permission.
But yes, you successfully equip Argonax with a headset. It is quite well made. If simple.
Is it fireproof? I'm not gonna like intentionally burn it. I just might sneeze.
To the best of our efforts.
Yeah, it's made of metal. It might not stand up to extended use, but hey, it'll last a few days at least. Maybe they could go into production with this, start selling it in the Dragonlands.
Yeah,
but
you use one of those ridiculously small phones.
You can definitely see the wannabe entrepreneur, cogs starting to like turn
backwards, but it's turning. No.
But yeah. And
Argonax wonders about getting ponies to make loads of these. But anyway, what were you saying?
Is there anything else that we need to do here in the university, or is he good? Where do we go next?
I think he's sufficiently diverted. I would like to go and get coffee, so at around the 2-hour mark, I think it was a good time for a break.
Yeah, that sounds fine. There were suggestions of taking Argonax into town.
Yeah, that's I think the next thing that we're gonna do.
Okay, in the break, I will think of the places.
I just realized it's a good thing that we didn't go to Sinamporta Valley because, Camp Saguaro is nearby. The EEF base is nearby. They could have shot him down if we overflew like all the industries.
Yeah.
It's rather hard to avoid a heat-seeking missile as a dragon. Even if
I
you
mean,
have a flare launcher.
couldn't he just, couldn't he just Mothra his way through it and just burn all the missiles?
Or better
Probably
idea,
still hurt.
just get into Sending Porta walking.
Yeah. I mean, he may also be immune to anti-air missile fire. It's hard to tell.
It's just rude.
Very much. It damage his suit.
Yeah, suit's toast. He's fine. Suit's toast.
The suit is probably quite fireproof as well, because, it'd have to be. Anyway, I am also going to get myself a quick drink.
Yeah.
Burp.
I'm gonna top up myself.
I should go for the bottle of cola.
All things considered, I don't think this mission is going to drag on that much.
Yeah.
Get out. Here's your hat.
Never.
Hey, Vigilant.
Yep.
You saw what I posted, right? In Spec Ops.
There's been many things posted in Spec Ops. Which one?
The one I just posted.
Oh. Oh, damn. Damn. That is
What is that?
that is unpleasantness made manifest.
It's like the ping isn't all over the place, but like you were just getting random 100% packet loss.
Yep.
This is
Yeah, you lost like 3 or 4 key packets there.
3 or 4 what now?
3 or 4 key packets. So what you said was like an untranslated mishmash of.
Oh,
slowness.
I said I was just. I think it said something along the lines of I'm randomly losing packets.
Yes, yes, you did. While saying that, you did.
It appears to be a DNS issue. I don't know.
It can't just be DNS though, because that wouldn't affect Discord. Because the connection's already established.
I mean that. No, I'm talking about that big red spot in the middle, the disconnect spot.
Oh yeah, that. Yes.
We.
Oh, hi.
What's up?
Hey, I have returned. B, I'm chortling at the fucking the meme. There's memes.
Ow!
This is a very memeable mission.
Hey, are we waiting for anyone else?
Anyone?
I'm just fiddling about with some stuff and pouring a drink. We're basically fine.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the coffee machine to finish making my tea.
Oh yeah, the color. Oh, it's behind the computer. Nice. Big pronunciation. Big pronunciation.
Though I guess, without being at my computer to type anything, I guess I could probably assume that V is getting really close to checking with insert handler here about whether or not we have a timeline.
A timeline for what?
Basically, has contact been made? Are we supposed to be getting Are we supposed to be getting him to the XYZ at any particular time?
Oh, right. You don't necessarily need to worry about getting him to a specific place. They should be able to come over and
Oh, they'll just
pick him
go
up.
where we go.
Most of the place, yeah, as long as there's like a road, preferably a large road nearby. But you know what I say. They're complaining about traffic, etc.
Wait, when did Argonax get a favor injury?
Oh, I gave him that from Callie's little speech about
The cultural exchange. Yeah.
the yeah when we mentioned when he was asking about the society, it was just like people like work together. And it's that's real interesting.
Oh no, I gave him a headache.
No, it's
No, you gave him a he likes you. You inflicted it with he likes you.
Happy parrot noises. Ow.
Yeah, we just use the rather odd phrasing of favorite injury. Like, ow, thank you. Thanks, I hate it.
Look at it this way. Once you hit them over the head with compliments enough, you can take them to Favor Town.
That's
Town.
generally-
Oh my god.
It's generally frowned upon by polite society.
Who said anything about polite?
Who said anything about a society?
Callie did.
Yes, when he read the board.
Fucking hell, we live in a society.
Life has many societies, Ed boy.
How many layers of society are you on? Like 5 or 6, my dude.
I don't know, like 6 or 7.
You're like a little baby. Watch this. Place the movie of the Joker.
My spine fucking hurts for some reason. I don't know why. I think I must have slept on this thing wrong like half a week ago, and it hasn't forgiven me since. My god. Anyway, yeah,
Sleep awkwardly, your spine, and I took that personally.
it really did. I keep like leaning back into my chair, and then like the side of my back goes, "Oh no, you don't," and it really fucking hurts. But well, it'd be fine. I might just go for a lie down right after the session, but I'll just sit still for now. Okay. But are we all here? You've got your coffee machine going, V. Everyone else, I think, is still here, or is back.
I'm in.
I mean, I'm on audio, so I can answer questions. I just can't roll right this second, so.
That's
Ow.
fine, yeah. Right then, cool. So when last we left our heroes, you had
In previous episodes.
yes, you had fashioned Arjunax a snazzy headset. It's modestly snazzy, so that he can communicate with you properly while moving around the city. And so you're now more or less free to go anywhere. There was a suggestion to go somewhere nice. You're not sure if you're aware of any dragon-sized establishments. They probably exist.
Okay, I can. Okay, I'm going to say that Kali has, in the last year, worked in almost every place in the city. So I'm sure he knows any place that can accommodate a dragon.
Yeah, it seems like a
It'd probably
relevant
be
background thing.
yeah.
Like maybe just some kind of the thing that springs to my mind is like a nightclub with like a decorative large door that couldn't for some reason still be opened.
So basically
maybe-
a warehouse that's been converted into a club.
Yeah, or an outdoor venue.
Boy, those always work good, but yes.
Or an outdoor venue. Yeah, there are loads of places now they mention it around the city, which are just like having outdoors. Though obviously, you know, if you roll up to a normal coffee shop and they're like, "Hi, do you have any sulfuric acid?" They'll be like, "No, not in our coffee. Maybe in next door's coffee." should check with
Yeah.
them.
Sour as fuck. Yeah. It's the coffee.
Yeah, it's absolutely horrible. Check it out if you're a dragon. Otherwise, have a latte. Anyway, I'm just grabbing some stuff. And I imagine there'd be like some places that are more dragon focused. But saying that, it would be kind of like a dragon themed place, because even if you make a bar in a place like San Cimarron specifically for dragons, how many customers are you going to have? Like
Yeah.
3 per week at most.
It's the same 3 every week.
It's the same 3. They're local for business reasons or something. They're like, oh, this is the only place where I could just get a bucket of lava, which is enormously expensive. I have to imagine.
Yeah.
Just hit the
That'd be
rock.
an interesting idea for a business. You make a dragon bar and you make it out of the back of a metal foundry,
Oh my god.
steel smelting place. So, hey,
I mean,
perfect.
You open the back and it's that scene from the end of Terminator 2.
I mean, the gasoline seemed to work well.
That's true.
Just take him to a place and then just go to a petrol station, and just bring it there.
So clearly, what I need to do is just
I should-
get a
I
bar and
shouldn't-
then scale it up 3 times.
I shouldn't be helping you guys.
I mean, we're all friends here. Fine. But yes. So do you have any? What particularly will you be looking for in terms of places to go?
That's your call, Kelly.
Okay, let me think. Okay, so there's this bar in downtown that I think that can accommodate a dragon, but it isn't dragon theme. The Gigamax bar is basically more like a restaurant, but like works as a bar. It's focused on big things like big rations of food, big drinks. It's basically the entrance is two floors, like 2 floors high.
All I can think of is the stacks in Bethlehem, which is literally the old Bethlehem steel plant, but it's been turned into a music venue. This is what I'm hearing Callie describe.
Okay. We don't know what that is.
Yes, it's basically it's a concert venue made out of an old steel fabrication factory.
Oh, okay. Oh,
in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Yeah.
Yes, that was a part that bore clarification, because I did not initially realize that it was Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was thinking,
well,
like,
Bethlehem Steel is named after, but yeah.
It's just like, wow, they I didn't know things were going that well in Palestine.
Spice.
No,
Anyway.
yeah, no. This is discount Bethlehem, not the real one.
Okay. Yeah, so that makes sense that there would be places like that.
I mean, it's the best place to go listen to metal music.
It's terrible. You're
Anyway.
fired. Yeah, I'm just.
If I were at the steel stacks, I would be. Sorry, I had to.
Oh my god.
But yeah.
Yes.
Basically big theme bar.
Let's go there.
Sure. So, yeah, you can reasonably easily convince Arjanax to go with you to the place.
I mean,
And
it's not like
yeah,
he's doing anything else other than being a problem.
Yeah, basically, he's not really busy. Yeah, and presumably Callie will know where it is, so you can head off. And it goes off relatively without a hitch. I'm just kind of like fiddling about with map stuff in the background
Now,
here.
now that he has a headset, he can stay in touch quite easily.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
obviously he's free to move around as he likes. But
okay. I was going to say this may cause other problems. He's just kind of wandering around as he pleases, just like, well, not a lot to keep him from getting super distracted.
yeah, it's fine. You've got the GPS. These little ponies can find me. It's fine. He thinks as he veers off to just like go visit a random street or something.
Oh no!
No, he's not gonna just wander off like that. It's fine. I will not arbitrarily obstruct your progress just on that level of losing attention.
I would, but it's fine. So yeah, I'll say you're able to get to a bar, and I'm just kind of like fiddling about with a map here just to have something to look at. That's probably fine. You know what? I'll just move you over and then make a slight adjustment to things.
Which is scale up all the things. Yes.
Untie me!
So it's a very large bar.
Yes.
So you managed to find a place that is kind of dragon themed. They also serve a lot of ponies because if they didn't, they'd go out of business very quickly. But the place is big enough that Arjanax can walk in as if it's a completely normal building. It's not one of those weird little miniature buildings that ponies are always building for some reason. So it's probably quite refreshing that he could just walk up to an automatic door. And it takes a while to open, and it does rumble and shudder a lot because it's huge. But it does slide open.
It's actually paying quite a lot of attention to the construction of the place because it's like buildings are not amazingly common in the Dragonland since they don't exactly need a massive amount of shelter, and caves so they usually do the trick.
Yeah, I mean, who needs windows when you are immune to the environment?
You know, the
Well,
odd
that could probably.
the odd canyon, the odd tunnel or whatever. He's like,
I'm
Is
just
there something you find interesting?
around random people.
Sorry.
So it's just, like he dead ass asks because it's just like, so is this like a cave or something, or it's like a domesticated cave? Fascinating.
That's actually an interesting way to put it. It's pretty much what buildings and houses are here in Equestria. We basically.
Are the streets like dug out? Is this like some kind of complex canyon network, or?
No. It's we build on relatively flat land. We have to. We surface the roads and we construct buildings for us to live in. As you know, we don't have the same survivability in the environment as you would.
Oh, so it's like a cave in reverse. Oh, okay.
Basically, you build a cave.
At this point, I feel like you should be like wondering, speculating on this guy's intelligence, even like for dragons.
Buck's just gonna play along. He deals with people like this in college. Come on.
Well, people who don't know what a building is.
Yeah, I was gonna say he deals with people who are worse than this in college.
I mean, those
They're
people
called,
who weren't very
they're
bright
called
in
the
college.
administration. I mean, what?
I mean, not gonna say I disagree. Anyway, I'm just throwing around some
he's just gonna wander around and just be very like, ooh, ooh, ooh.
I keep an eye on that.
What's these?
Oh, whoa, what's this?
Is there a good spot for V to just kind of chill and watch the entire, like, is there a place that she can get some elevation?
Yeah, there would be. It's constructed comically large, but it's also constructed so that it can be moved around and operated by, normal-sized people. Normal-sized people who can generally fly, so it's not really a problem if a lot of places aren't accessible. But there are a lot of, stairs, ladders, even elevators in some places to get from place to place. But basically, yeah, moving around isn't really a problem for you.
Right, so I'm just trying to think what would be a good place to keep, like, a relative Overwatch. And I understand the irony of saying that when everything dwarfs you, but yes.
Up on a table, I guess.
Yeah,
The
probably.
place you're on just now is kind of elevated.
That's
there's,
probably as
people
close.
milling about.
Yeah.
You notice
Yeah,
that in a
basically
lot of
trying to
places
keep
there
an eye
are.
on.
Yeah, keep an eye on Argonach. Or that guy.
I'm
You
on
notice
that corner.
there are a lot. You can hold Alt to place yourself arbitrarily. By the way.
Yeah, I remember. I'm just not doing it because I'm not. My thumb wasn't on the Alt key yet.
That's fair enough.
Think.
But there are a lot of pony scale furniture in amidst the dragon scale furniture. It is, as you can probably tell, a big gimmick of this place that probably draws in a lot of interest. It makes it a little bit of a nightmare to heat, so the solution is that they don't. The furniture areas immediately around the furniture are heated. The air above is not.
Argonax doesn't even notice, obviously.
Argonax is absolutely fine, yes.
Happy dragon lad.
Though, there are a few dragons around. As you probably will notice, because they're, actually look like they're supposed to be in the place.
Well, he can talk with them.
He kind of when he spots one of them, he kind of like freezes like a cat that's seen another cat that he doesn't know, and he's kind of slips off in another direction, just kind of with a cautious eye, is just like.
One of the blue ones over here nudges one of the other blue ones and gestures towards Argonax, and then they just kind of all look over, and then mutter amongst themselves. That's these fellas here.
Yep.
Yeah. That's
I assume that's audible to V. That they're muttering, not necessarily that they're speaking anything particularly.
Yeah, you might not be able to catch the words, but it's pretty clear that they're talking to each other.
Active perception?
Yeah. I'd allow that.
Yeah, I don't have a boost for audio because I don't have the hearing aids, but I'll take it. So that is 6. Do I want to throw a stam on this? Screw it, I'm throwing a stam on this. Hey, that's better than last time I threw a stam on something.
4 successes. Yeah, that's enough to get what they're generally talking about. One of them just says to the other, "Is that Argonax? Yeah, I think that is Argonax. What the fuck's he doing here? Have he got some fucking ponies hanging around with him?" They're talking among themselves about what the hell this guy's doing here and what the hell he's doing hanging out with some ponies. And they seem fairly disapproving about this, ignoring the fact that they're in Equestria. You know, they have an excuse, obviously. Clearly, the reason they're here is a good one, and the reason he's here is a bad one. Is obvious.
It's not
Yeah,
obvious.
Totally. But yeah, that's what they're doing. Other than
I'll
that,
probably inform the team. Can I inform the team without informing Argonax that we may have
yes,
trouble?
I mean,
you will have like
you'd be,
board comms.
you'd be lucky if he notices anything at all.
Yeah, fair
That
point.
too.
I just
I
know
like
that he's on a vague approximation of comms. That's the only reason why I asked. So yeah,
That's
I'll
fair.
inform the team that the group of blue dragons may be an issue, and I'll keep an eye on them.
A dragon with ADHD.
The red dragon also looks over in a sort of, oh hey, it's a guy, but doesn't really pay much attention. He seems to be fiddling with a very small device, and is
Which one?
generally not paying much attention. The red one. There we
okay.
go. This fellow.
He works
Most
fast.
dragons tend not to be overeager to speak to other dragons, unless, you know, they're working together for some reason. Kind of like... Anyway. And I just realized I should have had, like, music for the session or something. Oh, well.
Kali, I think this is more your territory. You're going to entertain our guest.
Okay, I can entertain our guest.
Oh, yeah,
So-
Callie would be fairly familiar with the place. So, oh, yeah, I remember this place.
Yeah, I remember this place. Let's see if I can get some favors from the bartenders here, and I can like use their equipment to show him my skills, and be like, "Hey, Arginax, let me show you some of Equestria's best culinary talent."
He's like, yeah, all right. He's a little bit distracted by, you know, the people he doesn't like off in the corner, but he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, well, whatever, you know.
Okay, so I'm going to approach the bartenders and first I'm trying to I'm going to leave my token just here around, as this is more talking. So I'm basically going to approach the bartenders and trying to use my reputation to and be like, hey, I'm Kalim. I've worked here many times. I'm fairly well known in the world of bartending. I want to ask if I could be able to use your bartending equipment. Don't worry, I'll pay for it. I'll pay for the drinks I make.
Yeah, so you get the you go up to the bar. There's a couple of bartenders around. And one of them will recognize you and say, "Oh, hey, yeah, I remember you." So they'll be aware that you're not just some random guy off the street. At the suggestion of, you know, using the equipment, they seem a bit apprehensive. But when you say that, you know, you'll pay for the drinks, they're like, "Oh, well, that's, I guess." Could you maybe
Unorthodox,
a
but
charm
fine.
roll?
A
Mostly,
charm
yeah.
roll.
I mean, yeah. They're like, it's technically not allowed, but it's probably fine. I'm just kind of going for how appealing he makes the idea.
Oof.
2. Oh, people are just not rolling very well today. So they're kind of like, well, we've had one of the managers have been a bit picky lately, but you know, if you're kind of quick, maybe you can like get a drink or two poured for this guy. They gesture to Arjanax, assuming that that's who you're talking about, considering you came in with them. And hey, if it's getting paid for, whatever, they'll calm down eventually.
Yeah.
So you know,
Okay.
they basically say, if you're reasonably quick, we could probably like just say, oh no, it's fine.
Perfect. Well, so I get on it. Is that the expression?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
The bar would have various devices for making drinks that are pleasant to dragons. Because you know, ponies are very clever at inventing things that even the dragons might not have back home. So you know, they'll have various different ways to mix different things and substances that you might not expect to be in a bar, like, well, very, very hot stuff, very unusual, very dangerous liquids, and vessels for carrying them.
Check if they have thermite there.
They've got just a little bowl of thermite on the bar, like a fucking peanut bowl. Guess it's got a pile of thermite in it. Anyway. Hopefully it doesn't catch fire, because to be big enough to be picked up by dragons, it has to be a very large pile. It's very expensive to insure this place.
Well, I have read about dragon recipes from a pretty nice book some time ago. So I think I can fairly make some of these dangerous cocktails. And also I kinda want to prepare something more for ponies. So you can taste a bit of experience something different. Because I'm sure you already have drank a lot of stuff from made by dragons. So hey, you're here in Equestria, like it's part of the tourism to try something new.
I suppose it probably can't hurt. You can't say the same for the other way around, but
Oh yeah, there is also a heavy lifter delivery drone available for taking drinks to table.
Wait, is Argonax just going to be staying here in this sort of corner?
He's kind of, moved over to that booth a little bit, yes.
Yeah, he's avoiding some other people who might become an issue shortly, but you know.
Yeah, but Bucky's probably just approaching and going like, "Is everything all right?" You seem to be avoiding someone.
He kind of trails off a little bit, and he's just kind of, occasionally glancing over at the other end of the place with a glare, and it's just like, not sure about those people.
I take it they don't. I take it they don't have a very good opinion of you.
Opinion? I just don't know.
What? Okay. I didn't quite hear you.
Opinion? I just don't know them.
The distance between sworn enemy and stranger is very short in the Dragonlands. But yeah, the pony who was sitting there kind of sees Arjanax coming, sees him not really paying attention, and just goes, and moves over. Like, I don't want to get sat on. So,
just kind of helps himself to this booth.
Bucky's probably gonna join him, just to make conversations.
there's a pony-sized chair, and a step ladder, or well, a set of ladders to get up to it. It just pulls the snake eater thing on the way up. It's probably not that tall, anyway. So yeah, so
Buck is probably just gonna ask. So tell me more about your visit here to Equestria. What are you planning to do after you meet the people that we're bringing you over to?
He kind of trails off and is very. Remember the comparison I mentioned about cats that don't know each other? It's very much that. He is not interested in that conversation.
Oh. Okay. But Buck would probably pick up on that and say, "Okay. So how are you finding it so far?"
Sorry, say again.
How are you finding your trip so far?
It's been reasonably entertaining. He kind of it's still clear that he's he is still fairly distracted, but he's at least happy to recount some of the experiences so far. He was quite he found the university thing quite entertaining, and he's interested in the culinary potential of petrochemicals.
Speaking of petrochemicals, Callie, could you? There's not really a skill for bartending, is there?
Oh no! Really we've hit upon the need for the cooking check.
Oh no! Yeah, just fucking.
Well, don't worry. To be honest, and honestly, I don't think Cali will need a check. I often describe him as really, really, really good at bartending. But I will consider a role for handling stuff like lava and dragon cocktails.
Oh yeah, it's definitely tricky. This is
if I had to nominate a cooking role, I'd probably go for precision and culture, but I don't know if that necessarily applies to handling lava.
Handling lava, yeah. I mean, they have tools here specifically for doing it, so it's not outlandishly difficult, and he's done it before, so that's okay. It might not be mechanically accurate, but I'll say just go for a spirit roll, because I think Callie's got loads of spirit, and this is something he has a lot of skill in, so I'm just assigning the numbers rather than justifying force. That's rather good, especially considering this is just a control. So yeah, you're able to make some rather interesting beverage. The kind of thing that's incredibly exotic to dragons, because this isn't the kind of thing that they really get back home. That's probably a concoction of petrochemicals and lava and literal fire that's held together by magic or something. The kind of thing that's is this a weapon? No, it's a drink. And there's also, they've got a heavy duty crane drone for taking drinks over, so you can get it over to him without having to carry it, because it weighs a lot more than you do.
And and also it's if you spill it, you're basically just dead. So
yeah, that's why it's really expensive to insure this place. So with 4 successes, he'd be able to operate that, get that sent over, and then gets it delivered over so that it kind of like gently places the drink in front of Arginax, who can look over and see Callie, having just sent it.
Hmm. Well, he, regards it curiously, gives it a sniff, and he's like, "Oh, that is very interesting." And he's just, as distracted as he is distracted again by this frankly astounding feat of culinary technology. He's not thinking about it like technology. He's thinking about it like food. He's just like, wow, this is a really unusual drink. I really like this.
And the beard bounces. Because happy berry and stuff.
You know that thing where you need to sneeze, but it takes its fucking time coming out?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Ah,
Sorry
yeah.
about that. I have returned. Yeah, Arginax is pleased. Callie is the good bartender. And the rest of the bar tenders, yes, the rest of the bartenders there are quite impressed. Some of them even should take notes because, they're just still working off the bartender's cookbook. It's not really a cookbook, a drinks book. I don't know. You know what I mean.
Mixing it, yeah.
Newbies. Though,
Yes.
partway through Arginax having the drink, though, these three over here just kind of like get up and start walking over in the direction of
V
Arginax
warns the team.
at his table. Pretty much, yeah. They kind of ignore V as they go past. I mean, they can like see him, but they kind of come over. Let me just turn on the nameplate so that I can remember who they are. And and yeah, so they approach with a look.
It's a fucking Pillar Man.
The Pillar Men theme starts. Except in some way more draconic. I don't know what draconic music's.
You mean Draconian?
It's just like
Oh,
fucking pitch down and sounds like.
Buck is looking at the three cautiously, and then over at Arginac.
it would have to be a metal cover because, of course.
So this is, yep.
The one at the front steps over and says, "Hey, you're Arginax, aren't you?"
Is this a problem? Just, putting on a slightly snootier voice than has been noted so far.
Problem? No. It's always great to see other dragons around this place. They look around at the everyone else dismissively, as they do. What's someone like you doing hanging around with? They kind of point at Buck with a distasteful expression. With these sorts of things.
They're kind of everywhere,
They kind of look around, and yeah, the place does have more ponies than dragons, that's for sure. That's it. Sorry, I'm just kind of coughing myself unconscious. Anyway. I say, yeah, but we don't associate with them. Weren't you supposed to be a real dragon? We know you've got this whole thing with
snort
immigrants.
Yeah, but Buck
snort.
Buck just looks at the guy and saying, and in in Draconic just goes, "You don't look very much like a real dragon to me either. You have a problem with it?"
Somebody get the gif of the oh snap.
Oh snap!
He does seem
I mean,
visibly surprised at a pony speaking Draconic, as if he hadn't even considered that this was a thing that could happen. I'll say he was speaking in Draconic, but you'll fucking speak it anyway, so whatever.
at least basic, yes.
And they look down at Buck and basically reply with, "And who the hell are you supposed to be?
Does it
Small
matter?
creature."
I don't know who you are. Does it matter if you know who I am?
Small.
That's the one, Bright. Thanks.
It's like, leave me alone, I'm cute.
He folds his arms and announces, rather than introduces himself, as Mildronth, which I have a fucking Mildronth the Nocturnal, which don't think about it too much, as well as Tondrog, Lord of the White, and Kelbakras the Dead. Don't think about it too much. Dragon names are unusual. They're literal translations. We wouldn't want to explain the implications to tiny-minded creatures like you.
So what's
Anyway.
your business here in Equestria?
That's none of your business.
Then Argonax's is definitely. Then Argonax's business is none of yours either.
Oh no, I
I'm
bet
just
you
still-
as in you ponies. But could you make a either
What now?
charm or intimidate check?
Let me see what I have more of. Real quick. I have more charm. Oh wait, no, I have the same. It's the same roll.
It's the same, yeah. You have slightly more bluff, but this is really it's not really bluffing going on.
All right, I'm probably gonna add damage as well. For this.
Still not completely overkill that across the dead.
He's just a little bit sickly.
2 successes.
2 successes. They don't seem overly moved. You definitely actually, could you make me a culture check to see if Buck can get an idea of like who these guys are?
3 successes.
3 successes. Oh well. So you might not know specifically who these 3 people are, but you will know that among the people who don't like the fact that Argonax associates with ponies, there are quite a lot of people in the Dragonlands who really just don't like ponies. They're not generally violent about it because that would be a little bit one-sided. But they do hold ponies in contempt as lesser creatures.
Mhm.
So the notion of Argonax associating with them, doing business with them, and speaking out in favor of them is kind of offensive to them. So like I said, they're not more violent than other dragons, but
Yeah.
they do exist. So you probably assume, or you can probably work out that these people are of this faction in the Dragonlands.
Yeah.
They may even be part of Argonax's own clan. Is it a
Well,
clan?
they are blue as well. They all kind of look the same.
Wow, look at the racism. But
What? I'm blue too.
Does that mean you're part of the same clan?
everyone here is in Clan Antonax. That's it. Oh yeah, so these guys, you believe from their appearance, may be from a branch of the Antonax clan, which is
Okay.
Argonax is also from a branch of the Antonax clan. So they may be related, though it's probably quite distant, and relations don't necessarily mean the same thing that they do in Equestria.
Yeah.
But
Just slightly less, Nico, it's your cousin, and slightly more, so when are you going to die so I can take your horde?
Yeah, kinda. Yeah, they've almost certainly never met and never spoken. But there's probably some convoluted line of succession there. Though anyway. What was the last thing you said, or was it what I said? I got distracted by dragons.
I think it was. Buck was asking what their business is in Equestria. They said that's none of his business, and he replied with, "Well, Argonax's business is none of yours either."
Of course, it's some of our business. We're dragons. We're just looking out for him. He knows how much trouble that associating with the likes of you has been given him.
You don't see any problems being here.
Oh, bit of lag there. It's happening again.
Oh no.
You want me to speak again?
Yes, if you could say again, because it kind of lagged out. But you seem to be okay.
You don't you don't seem to have any problems being here, so I don't see why he should have any problems as well.
They kind of snort at that, little bit of flame coming out their nose. Sorry. Just distracted by coughing again. But you get the impression that you're kind of just effortlessly nudging away his points, and he is unhappy with this. But he's also trying to give the impression that he's not getting owned by a pony. I'm not owned.
I'm not owned as I slowly transform into a corn cob.
It just shrinks and shrinks and shrinks. Anyway, turns to Argonax and says, "Hey, Argonax, why don't you come with us and get out of here? We'll see if we can find a place that's more tasteful."
Good luck finding one.
He just kind of snorts and is just like, well, clearly wasn't beneath your taste to begin with.
Wrecked. I'm just going to roll a dice. Oh wait, no, I've got this button. Yes. So Tondrog will step up at that, lean in, and say, he seems to be a much deeper voiced brother, ? Though not in a position to do voices right now. Say, hey, we're just here after some business with some other dragons that are here in Equestria. We don't like it any more than anyone else does. Like we said, we're just looking out for you, Argonax.
Yes, and I'm sure your cave is very comfy. Sips expensive cocktail.
Sips expensive cocktail made by, in a completely unique way that's inaccessible in the Dragonland. It's like, yes. You
Buck
dislike potions.
Buck is probably just going to reiterate something along
It's
those lines.
It's just like, and what was your business? Digging holes? Like he's basically just shifting into begone peasant mode.
I can't tell if this is Argonax or Mildrond. It's one of them. I'm just rolling another one of these.
Image.
Kilbacris will step up and nudge Mildrond and say, "Hey, you know what this guy's like. You saw what this guy said on, and then he names a fucking, I don't know. It'd be like a dragon TV show, I guess, because one of the things.
Dragon MySpace.
They have television there?
Well, presumably.
No, he's not saying this out loud, by the way. This is just me asking.
Someone does because he's been interviewed. Maybe newspapers. Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
But they're made of like, I don't know, carbon fiber.
Granite.
Yeah.
They're literal tablets. Yes.
But anyway, yeah, Kelberkress is pointing out that Arjanax said some absolutely shocking stuff in an interview recently about how maybe ponies aren't that bad, and that the three of them should just bounce. I know, right? It's terrible. How does he say this stuff?
I'm just kind of just looking at his knuckles. He's like, oh, at least they thought I was worth interviewing. You know.
Oh. That is a good point. So I've just been rolling like some stuff for them in the background there.
Yeah, Buck is probably going to say something along the lines of maybe it would help your kind to roll the wheels of progress every once in a while. That's what we're here for, aren't we?
Ooh, a callback. I like it.
Ooh. Sip. Extra points for sound effects. You're still fired, but extra points for sound effects. But let's see. Yeah, Buck, do you give me one last charm or intimidate roll? Or well, it's 5d6.
Was that 5? Yeah, it was 5.
It was 5, yeah.
Fucking God. All 5s.
Well
okay.
then. All
Five,
5s. Interstellar 5-5 with 5 successes.
That's
Fucking hell. You know, I wasn't sure, but I think now I am. Okay.
It's a fucking strike.
Apparently that cuts deep. Mildronth kind of like stands up a bit more. Why you little? And then he's pulled back gently by the other two. Like, settle the fuck down.
Look, I'm not here. Look, I'm not here to start a fight. I'm just here in defense of this guy of Arjanax. I've had quite an interesting conversation with him in the past few hours, and it would be a real shame if people were to interrupt that. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Tondrog seems to roll his eyes and kind of like tries to nudge Mildronth backwards and just says, not worth the effort. And tries to kind of lead Mildronth away. Kelbaccarus does similar. And the two of them, more or less successfully, get Mildronth to back down and not turn the booth into glass. With, you know, the good old-fashioned dragon breath thing. Then they turn around and start marching back away. Fast-moving there, Duel.
Yeah, Buck probably just calls out, have a drink. Go have a drink. It's probably best for you.
Oh no, they're just fucking leaving. After being burned like that.
Wow, rude.
Not been burned like that since they were in the Dragonlands. With the fucking all 5s, Jesus. Turning Point Dragonlands will remember this. or they might not, to be honest. They're a fickle sort.
Oh.
Duel, what have you been doing during this shenanigan nonsense?
Nothing.
It's understandable. That is fair enough. You doing okay there?
I guess.
Oh no. I just realised that we hadn't had input from everyone quite yet. All right then. So those guys sod off. Let me just type up a quick thing. Don't mind me, just coughing my face off.
No worries.
But yes, momentarily.
It happens.
Arganax is almost burnt by the fire that Buck spits, but thankfully it only hits those other dragons.
Alright. And Buck turns to Arjanax and asks, you doing okay? And, let's just wait for a cat to come back.
Let's take a short over there. I'm just going to drink some Coke. Did Kappa say he was going AFK?
Yeah, he said the BRB and the Spec Ops.
Oh, I see. Right, yeah, I didn't notice that. Okay, cool.
Ah! Turning
Welcome
Point
back.
Dragonlands. Oh my god.
8 ponies. Love caves. Anyway.
Yeah, regarding doing okay, it's just like, yeah, what's in this? Just like, not even.
Not even what now?
Yeah, I like a moron, I was using gesture rather than fucking words. It just I just fucking brushing it off my shoulder, you know.
So basically, pretty much acting as if it didn't happen.
Well, it's just,
And
it's just got.
It's just Thursday.
He got harassed by a bunch of yobbos, and it's just like, go away, I'm richer than you.
Buck is probably gonna say something along the lines of, "You're in, Arjanax, you're in safe company. If you really need to get something off your chest, you can talk to us about this. I'm not sure how things are over in the Dragonlands, if if talking about problems is a thing there, but here in Equestria it is. And if you so wish, then you could air out your grievances."
He finds the concept kind of amusing. He's just like, ah. So is this what equestrian humor is like?
Yeah, Buck just cocks his head and like just his body language is like, this isn't a joke.
Oh, just.
Oh,
that is adorable.
Don't knock it till you try it.
This is like I think he just dead ass says just like, I'm here for your technology, not your feelings. And
when does V become aware of that, Swift?
Let's say you probably don't need to roll. They're fairly obvious. After several minutes have passed, there do seem to be a small group of guys just heading into the place. They're pretty clearly SCPD. They're wearing like the uniform and all that, and they're just kind of walking in and like looking around curiously at things. They definitely don't look like they're here to relax, but they also seem to be ignoring most of the people that are around.
A heads up, particularly to Duel. Over the comms.
What about it?
That SCBD's poking their muzzles in.
I think we've got company.
Buck is gonna glance over to the side and see the patrol and just say, "You guys keep them out of our here. I'll deal with the dragon."
What do you want me to do? Start a bar fight?
Preferably not.
In character.
Yeah, preferably not. But if it has to, then do it.
Oh, is there entertainment here as well?
We'll see about that.
They would probably disapprove of being referred to as entertainment, but it's not asking them. So yeah,
V overhears but doesn't comment.
But yeah, Buck is gonna try to segue the conversation now that he mentions, I'm here for your technology, not your feelings, and say, so, well, like, is there anything that you're specifically interested in?
I did not plan this aspect in this much detail.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah, we're assuming that the conversation is a lot deeper than the way we're talking about it.
Yeah, he does have like some interests beyond. Is this a phone? Is this a pigeon meme?
The SCPD aren't like marching in perfect formation. I just slapped them all into one token so they're easier to see because everyone's very small on this map.
Oh, neat.
So yeah, so basically, Argonax and Buck are just talking shop as far as technology is concerned.
Yeah,
he's probably explaining to him like how distilling petroleum works.
It's kind of like talking to a high school junior
who's really eager but doesn't know shit.
Yeah,
kind of thing.
Yeah, but Buck is probably giving him his entire tablet that has like all the notes that he has, like the things that he's illustrating at least, because he's probably drawing like diagrams for him.
Are either of V or Duel doing anything to physically stop the SCPD patrol, or are they just kind of letting them pass for now? They look like they're heading for the bar.
V doesn't do anything yet.
Duel has a plan in mind if they're going to disturb Argonax. Otherwise, I think it would be better to just let them be.
Yeah, same.
Sure. They head on down, climb up the bar.
I'm like imagining the four of them climbing up to a dragon-sized chair.
They probably just go like onto the bar.
Oh god, onto the bar.
Yeah, on the bar is a small like doll-sized set of a bar. So
They wave down
the bar.
a bartender, and Calamu is probably still there, so he probably hears, and the others could probably hear in as well. But they basically say that talk to the bartenders and say, so we received some reports that there was a single blue dragon in here, along with a group of ponies causing trouble. You heard anything about that? They say, looking over and very obviously spotting Arginax, but not like immediately going for him yet. The bartenders will shrug and gesture over to Arginax, saying, "Well, he's over there. There were some blue guys in here, but they left. They didn't do anything. Well, nothing really." They ask if Arginax has got all his papers together, and the bartender shrugs and says, "It's not my job." It might be his job,
I'm going to ask to the cops. And what papers exactly?
Oh, you know the ones. Like, big guys upstairs don't like it when there's dragons wandering around they don't know about. So, they're kind of supposed to have...
I kind of lost connection for about a minute. What were you guys talking about?
Oh, no. The police have arrived, and they're asking questions about a dragon that's apparently causing trouble that matches the description of Arginax. And they're asking the bartender if he has his papers, which, legally speaking, there isn't actually documents that Arginax is required to have on him.
Mhm.
Strictly speaking, I mean, he should probably have a passport, but there is a kind of sub-legal push to have dragons in Equestria, like, register where they are, so that, because it's all about protecting our law enforcement boys, so that they can be tracked easier. This is met with varying levels of success, depending on how much individual dragons can be asked to bother with either signing a piece of paper or telling to fuck off. So that's what they're asking about.
It's like we would like to know where dragons in Equestria are, but we can't really make them. So
yeah, there's always a threat of like, look, we could call the military and make a whole thing about this, or you could just sign the paper, and the dragon might just say, no, fuck off. But it's a delicate dance between people who are theoretically in control and the people who are actually in control. And the police don't like it when they're not in control. So, so that's what they're currently doing. You are all become aware of their intent to probably go over and hassle Arginax in a sec. The bartenders at the place aren't very cooperative. They're just like, whatever. We haven't.
This
thrown him
probably
out.
happens a lot with customers they get.
Possibly, yeah. So yeah, whatever. He pays. The drinks are paid for. I don't care. Go away. But it's the SCPD. You can't just tell them to fuck off unless you're a dragon.
So what we're really saying is let them insult Argy so he can deal with them. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Maybe.
Say that would be slightly an embarrassment.
Who's gonna talk? No. But yeah.
Yeah. So if they are otherwise unhassled, the SCPD patrol will head over in the direction of Arginax's table, make the long trek across the totally not 40 feet, 40 dragon feet.
So like 480. No, 420 feet just for the joke.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
So are you guys gonna do anything, Vi and Duel?
We should probably do something.
If Duel's gonna do something, Duel can do something. Otherwise, V's gonna jump down.
Want to start a bar fight?
Do we want to start a bar fight?
The bartenders shake their head.
Is a standard bar fight charge better than causing embarrassment to these guys? Because if so, someone can take the fall. That isn't us necessarily.
Gonna say if it's
The
one
problem is, yeah,
If
the,
you
the
want
problem is
me,
that you guys are more illegal than Arginax is, definitely.
Yeah, true.
It's like you guys starting a bar fight would possibly result in credit score increases.
unless they don't know who started the bar fight.
We didn't start the fire.
We didn't start
Well.
the fire. Well, because Green has
this
Down
guy.
to your creativity.
Duel has a silenced pistol right
Oh
now.
God.
And is the
know.
red dragon carrying like a big glass or something?
He's got a glass next to him, or well, I say glass. They're made of like some sort of substance that can hold the horrible shit that dragons drink.
That's
So it's
fine.
probably
Is
not shatterable. It's probably not shatterable with a shot, is what I guess is being asked.
Probably not.
Probably
It might be
not.
just like solid steel. It'd make a cool ricochet sound.
Or, well, can it be knocked over onto him?
You could probably like time a shot as he's like lifting it up to take a drink, and like, nudge it, and then just let his own strength do the rest of the work.
If that is the case, Duo will probably stand in the rough direction of the patrol, carefully shoot his big tankard, and hopefully it will look like they are the ones who did that, just because.
All right, that would take some marksmanship, I think.
Marksmanship.
So it'd be precision marksman roll to see if you can get the shot off at the right time in the right place, and make it look like it came from the SCPD.
In the right part of the country.
This is a big shot, so I'm throwing 3 stamina onto this one to make 10 dice.
That's fine.
Is the team okay with this?
Are you gonna try to knock down that guy's drink?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
I don't have a better idea. If you miss, I may cluster a spell, but don't miss. Actually, if you miss and it doesn't fall over, I may still cluster that spell just to throw some extra oomph on it.
I am absolutely certain this is going to end very terribly, and we should probably do something better than this, but if that's how it's going to be, and since Arginax is probably going to be in trouble, we should probably haul him out once we make the shot, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Alright, so here goes nothing.
Buck is wait before that. The Buck is basically listening in, and as soon as this happens, I think he has a plan to get him out.
Alright. Here goes
I
nothing.
mean, Arginax is going to be fine, but anyway, carry on.
Okay, here goes.
4 successes is enough, I would say. The dragon has been just kind of literally minding his own business over there. So he's like got a I don't know, some kind of document written out in a huge carbon fiber sheet that he's looking at while lifting up the drink and kind of drinking it out the side of his mouth, while he was still looking. But he gets an unexpected nudge, and again it goes, huh? Lifts it in slightly the wrong way and ends up spilling a mixture of it's kind of hard to tell. Maybe there's like molten steel, napalm, lava, sulfuric acid, all down his front, which soaks into his suit, which bursts into flames and starts being eaten. And rather than what would happen to a pony of instantly dying, he just kind of like, quickly holds the glass out level again, looks down at himself, and gives the most "oh for fuck's sake" look you've ever seen. Because of course he is completely immune to all of this shit.
Angry dragon.
Angry dragon. He looks kind of annoyed. He looks over, sees this gang of SCPD thugs, fucking ponies, hanging around, slams down the drink on the desk, which causes a slight crack to appear on that area. spills a little more of this strange concoction, and he stands up and points at them and yells, "You fucking SCPD pricks," and storms over towards them. To which the SCPD are like, "Wait, what?"
We should leave.
So
Yeah, but
basically,
Buck basically makes it such that he pulls his phone out, but it's his ear, and he has sort of that short kind of conversation. He goes, "Yeah, all right, we'll be out," and then he just looks at Argonax and goes, "I think, yeah, we have to go outside real quick."
Are you sure? You just kind of, because he's obviously noticing the chaos across the room. It's quite amusing.
Yeah.
The dragon is very loudly blaming the SCPD for popping a shot off him. You know, you think it's funny, you goddamn SCPD, and then he starts listing off grievances he's had with these government thugs. I think you're so clever. I should burn down your entire department. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, Buck is gonna go like, "Yeah, if this keeps on going on, we'll be involved in the bureaucracy. You don't want to spend an entire day in a room full, filling out paperwork."
Yeah.
Like the absolute tech bro he is, he fucking is just like, paperwork. Oh god, let's get out of here.
His nemesis. But yeah, Big Dragon obviously isn't about to just start cooking people, but because that would just cause more paperwork that he'd have to do. So, he basically starts a shouting match. Yeah.
Before we get too far into the get the F out, I probably want to do a hack check of some variety.
Yeah, we
To
may
erase
have
our
cameras.
presence here.
We may have cameras.
Oh yes, of course. I mean, I suppose that makes sense.
I do have. Oh gosh, whose virus do I still have? I have somebody's that has. I think it was Chip's virus that I have. I forget which one.
Yeah. I'd allow you to just like hack as if this was before a mission to a thing, because
Okay.
I mean, it is literally just a bar. There's no like illegal secret service operations going on in the back. They just want to serve drinks. So
See, the fact that
can
you
make
say
hack
there
check.
definitely aren't any. No, I'm kidding. Buck, would you be
Totally.
assisting on that, or is it just gonna be straight on me? Because I can do a straight, but it's good to know. Because if you say it's a pre-mission one, then I can't use stamina on it, unless you're gonna say I can.
And I mean, you can. It's just as if it was something you had already done, because I think there's a whatever. You can make a hack check
Yeah.
to try and yeah.
All right, I'm gonna burn another stam here and do a mind plus hack check. That's not
Believe it or
terrible.
not, this was a randomly generated name. Anyway, 5 successes is pretty good at more than enough to defeat the security of a bar. So you can pretty much get in there, and your virus is very clever and manages to just clean up all of the bits that have you guys on it. Their IT guy is probably going to get yelled at later, but
Probably
it's
by
fine.
the SCPD, but yes.
It's probably nobody's going to die today. Probably. So it's probably
Until Night
fine.
Rain shows up. But yes.
Maybe.
Okay. Then
Night
I
Rain
then I
aren't
have
stupid
done
enough to
I
harass
have done the
dragons.
one thing. Yeah, I have done the one thing I needed to do. Okay, now we can leave.
Yes. Also, yeah, I've been using a random dragon name generator, and this guy, I just had to call him Brogad Eternal Fire, because it's the most dragon name ever. But yeah, so you're all free to
By
leave.
the way, the headphones battery is kind of low.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Brocad, or alternatively, Brad.
Nah.
Indeed. Yeah, so I mean, we're getting towards wrapping up anyway here. So you all are able to leave fairly easily. It's not like there's anyone to stop you, and the bartenders would probably rather you leave anyway. So you know what, maybe you should go. So you all managed to get out of there without too much trouble.
I should go. I should go. I should go.
I should go. Let me just like pop it back onto there.
As he just kind of fucking
This to, like
sculls down this noxious mixture of like construction materials.
randomly selected area. Yeah, so you head out, and it does seem to be getting towards the time when Hart said they would show up to help the guy along.
Hello, guys. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, now we can.
Yes.
You were muted.
Perfect.
Hello?
You cut out there.
The internet is murdering you now, Buck.
Hello?
No, it's
I think it was.
Oh.
Yeah. Summer's internet.
Oh, there was a blip.
I think he might be out of battery.
It's his headphone batteries that were getting low.
Yeah. Mine are magnetically connectable, but that's because I have a special connector on it. It doesn't necessarily help it from not dying, though.
If his headphones have died, it's mostly okay because we're basically wrapping up here.
The only thing occurring to me is that basically I can come up with contrivances and distractions all day. But I don't know how interesting you guys would find. Oh no, my suit ripped in that encounter, and it's just like you should probably get that fixed.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay. My internet is currently fried right now. Give me a moment.
I know.
I'm on my phone right now, so I'm not going to be able to actually manipulate my my character token.
That's okay. So this is the universe conspiring here.
I mean, I don't know, DM. What do you think?
I was thinking that we would be leading towards wrapping up anyway, and then all these sudden technical problems seem to be indicating that's probably a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
If everyone's net is going down and batteries are dying and etc. What time did we start out? Was it 2 hour time?
Yeah. So
right.
We're coming up on 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. Okay. So you get out of the bar reasonably safely. You get away. Everything's fine. Mostly.
Yay.
You don't have a high summer. They don't have the police after you. And before too long, you get a call from Verve.
All right.
One of you does, I don't know who, saying that they're just around the corner. They can come pick you up. If you could meet near a major road, that'd be really helpful. It's kind of hard to get this thing down the side roads of the sea.
So,
but they say they'll be there in just a few minutes. Which, yeah, you should be able to get to like any major road. Like I say, you're not being obstructed by anything. And then once you arrive there, you see a rather large vehicle that's a little bit bigger than a Beetlejuice, but it looks quite fancy. Like it's pretending to be a taxi, but it's obviously a heavy freight truck.
Yes.
You know, quite tall, quite wide, maybe about big enough for a dragon or two to comfortably sit inside.
Oh.
For example. So it rolls up along the road, and then Verve hops out of the front, waves to you all. Say, thank you very much for your help today. Arjanax, how are you? He'll ask.
He mentions because I can't remember. It's just like I got to see whatever discombobulated the thing was, except he gets the name wrong.
Verve gives him a rather blank look, and then says, "Excellent." I will turn to like Dual, Buck, V, and Calamu. So thank you very much for helping us today. We were a little bit short-staffed. We had some business to take care of just outside of town. No, it's very important work, as I'm sure you'll understand. Arjanax, we've managed to acquire a conveyance that is appropriate for someone like yourself. He gestures, and like the driver will activate a thing that kind of slides at the side wall of the thing open, and inside is what kind of just looks like the inside of a nice car scaled way up to be about dragon size. So a comfortable seat, like maybe a little TV there, maybe like a tiny little mini bar, but who knows what's in it. And you know, there's like windows out, though they're kind of blacked out from the outside, so it kind of just looks like a black truck. So yeah, we're going to be heading up
it's
to...
basically
It's basically like a dragon-sized limo.
So it's basically Lightning McQueen's trailer.
I've actually seen that.
I was like, oh yeah, this should be sufficient. It's kind of
yes. If you come with us, we're going to head up to where we can discuss the details of what we were speaking about before. And he references, you know, a location that's not too far away.
All right, but Buck would just.
I was going to say algebraic roleplay.
Yeah, if you'll come with me to X, then Y.
Why not?
I mean, if I was a good DM, I would have like got details for all of this beforehand, but I'm not. So. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Buck is gonna look over at Arjanax and go, you know, it's been a pleasure having this time with you.
It has indeed been entertaining.
That it is.
I hope we
survive the hug.
I hope we can see you again.
Polite smile, gets distracted by something in the limo, but you know, has a there's like a knowing little wave. He's like, perhaps, you know.
We shall see. Is the general vibe, I suppose. And Verve will say, yes, well, we're hoping this will be a relationship to last a good long time.
All right,
terms, at least.
Mr. All right, is everything in order, Mr. Lagrange?
Well, about as in order as it can be. I really appreciate your help, by the way. I've got something on the other. And he kind of gestures for Arjanax to make his way into the limo at his convenience, and kind of turns aside with the party to speak to them. And says, what's that?
I was just going to say, it's kind of like, you know, crawling into a dog kennel a little bit.
A really nice dog kennel.
Yes.
Like, are these leather seats? No, that'd be horrifying.
Yeah, a dog kennel that's upholstered like a private jet. Yes.
Ride height of lorry just gets visibly lower when he gets on.
Well, it's airborne, right? I forget. I don't remember if you said drove up or came down.
Oh, just like drove along the road. It's parked by the side of the road at the moment, but it's, you know.
For some reason, this was an aerial vehicle in my head for a minute. I got really confused.
All right. I mean, it could be. There's flying vehicles in this game, but yeah. So Verve put you all aside and say that, you know, seriously though, thanks very much for doing this. We're really stretched thin about this. should help us help you, though, now that we've had a bit of time to get some stuff done in the background. It'll help out.
Yeah.
We'll probably speak about this again in the future.
Understood. I heard from the last team how understaffed you guys were, and it's always nice to be able to help out in what way we can.
Oh yeah, we're always looking for ways to make our operations a bit more effective. Being understaffed is one of our problems right now. So, there's possibilities that in the future we'll be looking to hire people as well. And you guys have proven yourselves to be quite capable. So, if you're thinking about employment in the future, give us a call. Don't know how much I can offer pay-wise, but, well, we'll see what we can work out.
I'll keep that in mind.
Be nice.
That's fine.
Yay!
But yeah, he would. Sound check, that's only half of it. You need to get the car.
Yes.
Do. Yay. So, yeah, Verve will give everyone he would give everyone the thumbs up, except he has hooves, so he just gives everyone the hooves up.
How are you standing up?
V gives the
Magic.
V gives the half salute back because of course they're in their bat pony form with the vaguely night guard armory exo,
Naturally.
which is very much not official, but it looks like it slightly.
Totally not drawing attention. Yes, excellent. Yeah, and then he'll sort of turn and almost run off to towards the truck. You do definitely get the impression that a lot of this operation seems to be just one guy running around and doing a lot of stuff. He kind of jumps up into it, waves at the guy, and they start pulling away. It's absolutely a professional outfit. It's totally not just a group of guys loosely associated trying to do stuff. And the truck pulls away.
V spends all of 3 seconds debating whether or not to tail it before deciding it's not worth it.
Probably not.
And what?
We succeeded.
He's their problem now.
Yeah.
The network of
nearly
spies
getting
would
involved in a
immediately
dragon
notice
fight.
the intel.
Yeah, not my problem. Yet.
And then Buck just rolls the five fives of 5 Venus.
Yes.
Daft Punk starts
Yeah.
playing.
Yes, digital. Yeah. Anyway, Buck would probably be just message Arthur that the job has been done.
Yes. There would be a
There'll
be a
having his
debrief,
car
of course.
fucking picked up and shaking around the place. He's gonna he's gonna find the fucking the change be stuck on in the shade that's popped out of the ceiling,
Yeah, well, Buck is probably going to be like, I'd have your brakes changed up if I were you.
I mean, with classic cars, you've got to keep them maintained anyway, so that's a sensible thing to do. The mechanic might wonder, what the hell happened to this car? The brakes are all damaged, but nothing else is.
Well, there's a little bit of crush damage, not much, but a little.
I mean, he was quite gentle with it. There might be slight scratching to the paintwork from dragon claws and all that, but
Yeah, it looks like a giant version of a Hot Wheels toy that's been kind of jostled around by a 5-year-old.
Basically, yeah. I had a big model car like that when I was very young, so I definitely appreciate picking it up and just reaching in, turning the steering wheel and seeing the wheels turn and going, ooh.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I remember having this fucking model car as a kid, and it's like this was not a toy. This was definitely like a display model, but it did have front wheels that like articulated together until 10-year-old me kept pulling at them and broke it.
Yeah, why aren't you telling us that story that you found it like years later?
Yeah,
like in storage.
I found it like last summer.
Oh, yeah.
Argenax just doing that with fucking Callie's car's
Oh,
steering
no.
column, just fucking
Yeah, my I think I might have had a very similar thing because that was the thing my dad gave me and my brother was definitely not a toy, but we use it like a toy
This
anyway.
also seems very familiar to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
My
had
God.
that.
Your car is fine. It wasn't
Yes.
actually harmed. It's just a little shaking around.
Is the mission over,
yeah,
or is this
diecast.
break story time?
I think the mission is over.
Yeah.
All
The
right.
mission is over. There might be some post RP if people want to.
But the reason